All right, so we're back, man. Long time no speaking to Samir. You guys definitely check out his Substack in the description below. Yo, man, I'm glad you're back. There's a lot of interesting shit going
Thank you,
on
bro.
around the league. Yeah,
It's a fun season right now, you know?
facts.
Injuries, unfortunately, you know.
Yeah, but hey, man, this Ja Morant situation is multi-layered, and right now, there's two parts to it because Ja's future, everyone's talking about it in Memphis, but also Memphis's future in Memphis is on the line. That's another thing to this
Yeah.
whole scenario right here because I don't know, it's like a lot of internal politics with the coach because the Grizzlies kind of went out of their way to get this coach on the team. They bought him out in
Yeah.
Paris, and now they brought him to America. They were paying him $1 million as assistant coach, and then they had another $1 million assistant coach on the team. They end up letting that guy go, and
He's in
then
Miami now.
yeah, it's a weird thing with Tomas Lasso. Like it's a weird thing going on between the two. And Tomas actually was asked about it after Ja made those original statements.
I think a lot of players have been conditioned throughout their career to play in longer stints and to go find that rhythm. And basketball, just like every other global team invasion sport, is evolving, and the demands on the intensity are higher and higher, and we are looking to also adapt to the times. Yeah, a lot of planning, a lot of feel goes into planning the sub patterns. I think what's often forgotten is the what comes out, the actual sub pattern. It's to optimize results in the short, medium, and long term. That is the only goal of the sub pattern, to find a competitive advantage from it. There's some, like, it's a good question to ask because you could say, okay, what are you maybe not getting if you're getting intensity and pace being one of our key components to some of our, especially here in the early season, you might be sacrificing some, let's say, chemistry within the units because they might play shorter times together, or it might be more substitutions in an NBA game that already has a lot of stops in it. So I understand the concerns, and we're after the best overall result, like I said, in the short, medium, and long term.
There's a lot of clashes that are happening with this whole situation. You see how he talked about the short stints with the players being substituted out real quick. It's a lack of chemistry with that also with Ja. Like that's hard to get used to, and also we're battling the Euro kind of game. He's kind of trying to implement that into the NBA.
Bro,
That countless like kind of free momentum, free flowing offense, and at the same time, the NBA is still evolving because right now there's a lot of pace and space as usual as the last couple of years. But the only thing is that now the big man is kind of reinserting himself back into the league. Like some of these lineups for these championship contending teams are a lot bigger, man. Look at the Houston Rockets. That's a prime example right there. And the Grizzlies, low key, they have some players. Jalen Wells, Cedric Coward, the 11th overall pick. He's playing pretty good. So, what do you think is gonna happen with Ja? Do you think he's gonna fit into this overall mold because his game is it's been coming down the past couple seasons.
bro, I think with the Memphis Grizzlies, right? I think the problem has been is availability. What happened is Memphis last season wanted to implement a new style, so they brought in the two assistant coaches from European style. They want to implement a more European and a more system kind of basketball instead of a free flowing, a John Morant heavy style of basketball. So when it comes down to that, obviously you look at the what was it, 2023 and 2024, right? Where John Morant only played 10 games, if I'm not wrong. It was the season where he had the injury, he got suspended for the guns and all that stuff.
Yeah,
So, bro, when you look at it, bro, the Memphis Grizzlies, they had to make a pivot. But what happens now in 2024, 2025 is a pivot. You still were able to win half your season through the pivot, whatever. You fired Jenkins. You kind of go back to the John Morant heavy basketball. And then, you obviously get eliminated. So a lot of it, it's like Memphis Grizzlies, they rightfully made a pivot, right? Because John Morant has shown that he's not consistently available, but at the same time, you also penalize your franchise player who could do a lot more than like Sensi Almeida, who's shooting the same amount of shots as John Morant. which is unacceptable. And same with it seems like problems also coming down with Jaren Jackson Jr. Because I saw that the coach and Jaren are having a conversation on halftime. So it's like, bro, you're upsetting your two franchise players. At the same time, it's like,
We
none of the role players like Wells has had a dip this season.
but we've seen
Senti's
this
playing bad.
before. No, we haven't seen this before with David Blatt out in Cleveland. Like a lot of these
Yeah.
European coaches come to America and try to implement that free flowing kind of community offense, but the NBA does not market itself that way. It's a
No, the
showmanship
NBA is
league,
two
I would say.
personalities. It's two personalities, right? The
Mhm.
NBA, it's all about who are like people are not coming to a Memphis game to watch Jalen Wells. They're going to watch, Jaren Jackson Jr. and John Morant. And when you're not feeding them the ball, when it's free flowing, like I said, Santi shouldn't be taking the same amount of points as Ja. Even if Jaws has shown a decline shooting around the basket, his behavior, his leadership, all that stuff, bro. Regardless, Josh shouldn't have to, relegate his shooting. Even if he's on a slump, you should keep feeding him the basketball.
Mhm.
Especially when you're paying him like a franchise player. And on top of that, rightfully so, Josh pissed because he's due for an extension this offseason.
It's almost like the coach is looking for old world obedience with it's clashing with like Ja's ego, with new world ego. And the whole NBA is really about that, man. It's almost like somebody trying to fit San Antonio Spurs culture into Memphis, and it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work overall. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying I'm not saying his system is bad. I'm saying right now we've seen these type of clashes before, because David Blatt is not a bum ass coach. You know what I'm saying? He was probably one of the most winningest coaches in Europe, and he came to America and he took a team to the finals and they got rid of him because it's just culturally it wasn't a good fit.
Bro, also the thing is, Memphis Grizzlies made the mistake of hiring a rookie coach after 5 or 6 years of John Morant, right? Bro, realistically, okay, you fire like Taylor Jenkins. He was kind of the rookie coach up until 2025. You fire him, then you got to bring in a personality who knows how to handle like bigger personalities, who know how to bring a winning culture.
But that right there is the issue with a lot of European coaches. There's like a relatability issue. I think that's the problem David Blatt had. You know what I'm saying? Like for example, right here, listen to Ja Morant after this whole incident, and he spoke to his coach. You can tell that they do not even have a relationship just from the way he sounds. There's almost no connection beyond just we're working together.
Were you and the coaching staff able to talk about what happened Friday and move on?
Y'all asked that question to them, huh?
What about for you?
Y'all asked that question, so y'all know the answer to that.
Do you feel like everything's been resolved?
Yeah. They told y'all that, right?
Well, yeah, but
There
we
you
didn't
go.
hear it from you.
Obviously, they can't go and tell y'all something I ain't say.
You feel like you get the same joy right now that we used to see from you?
No.
Why not?
What can be done to get it back?
We'll see.
Do you think you have a good relationship with the franchise
Yeah.
in general?
Yeah. They told y'all that, right?
I didn't say anything about that.
If I had a good relationship, I wouldn't talk to him at all. So, and we had our combos over these.
Do you have any regrets about the way you played on Friday night in the second half?
You said what?
Do you have any regrets about the way you played in the game? I'm not talking about the
That's your
post-game
home
stuff.
run question? Sound like a bait question.
Yeah, bro. I think what it comes down to is a personality clash. Like I always believe, like if you're a European style like offense, it makes sense in San Antonio because all your players are 21, 22, like 19, 20, 21, right? In Memphis, you're kind of dealing with big boys along with kind of younger role players. But at the end of the day, when your two franchise players are defensive player of the years and all NBA players, they're not gonna really listen and lock in. But if you brought in someone like a Tom Thibodeau, and we saw that with New York, he can really change your culture. He can bring a more of a winning attitude. And that's one thing I have a criticism of the GM. There was lack of interviews. It seemed like they weren't willing to interview anyone for that coaching job. Like, why not take a couple of coaches, interview them, feel them out, Mike Malone or Tibbs or whoever was in the market, Mike Brown.
Wait, you know why? I have the answer to that.
Why?
It's because it was already a plan from the jump. They inserted him and he controlled the offense as the assistant coach. Remember, they spent $1 million buying him out. And they paid him about the same amount to be the assistant coach, and they gave him the responsibility of the offense while Taylor Jenkins was still head coach. The fix was already in. And at the same time, they already had another $1 million assistant coach that they were paying. So it's a lot of internal politics, man.
But dude, in my opinion, there was already a lot of red flags with the coach because, bro, you look at it. Like, you look at Memphis last year, they ended up half the season over a .500. I believe 3rd seed in the West. I'm not like a high top 5 seed. Then they drop once they start playing .500 teams. So my thing is, bro, this is not a team that's this was not an offense that was very sustainable to really make a deep run. You saw Oklahoma, they exploited everything. So now you're seeing, now it's like a whole conversation of, was this guy a perfect coach? Should they have sticked him to more being a more of a maybe assistant coach? Who knows? But they should have taken in more interviews, bro. Like, now you ruin the dynamics of your team. Now your franchise player is gonna try to look somewhere else.
But hold on, but in a way, that narrative, like you said, with them subpar, there was sub 500 against all the good teams. Actually, I don't think they beat any of the good teams last season. But people think, but the narrative is it's around Taylor Jenkins when the whole time it was Lasso that was controlling the offense. That was a known thing. A lot of insiders and with the Grizzlies have stated that Lasso, the offense was designed by him the whole time.
It was like a no screen offense, right? Like, oh, you swing the ball. There's not, bro, that's only sustainable until the game gets slower. And Memphis saw that once the game got slower, you need someone to have the ball in their hands and really get cooking. That's supposed to be Ja Morant. You're a Knicks fan. You know when the game is slow, you're not throwing it out to OG Anunoby or Deuce McBride. You're like, hey, Jalen, you take over. Memphis, it was a swing offense. At some point, defenses are going to figure it out. Your main player is not going to be in rhythm to really take defenders one-on-one and create opportunities for others.
Yep. Ja's averaging 20 points per game right now, shooting 39% overall. That's like early 2000s numbers, man. Like, that's kind of crazy.
Bro, with this modern day spacing is horrible, when you look at the modern day spacing. And so someone who's like as skilled as Ja, I'm looking at some of the games. I think it was Blake Griffin criticism on Amazon. He said, man, he doesn't look locked in. And it was true. You watched the Lakers game. He wasn't locked in. He's shooting jumpers. He's not driving into the basket, not really involved in the offense. So it's pretty clear that there's something going on in that front office and that organization that has led to this. It's pretty clear that there's not a good dynamic between the front office and the head coach. And, obviously the front office is to blame for a lot of their incompetency throughout the years and some of their draft picks, etc. But also, I think a lot of it falls on Ja Morant too and his antics. You look at it. I was thinking about it earlier a couple of days ago. I'm like, man, what caused the downfall of Zion and Ja? It was that 2023-2024 season where we saw them not even on the court for 90%, 85% of the season. Now we don't think about him. We think about Victor Wembanyama being the future of the NBA. And these guys were drafted only 6-7 years ago. So the NBA is always a changing league, right? Yeah, and that's something that Ja had to realize, because obviously Memphis obviously realized that we can't bank on a person missing 100 or so games.
But it's interesting you brought up Ja Morant and Zion. Like, they kind of do have a correlation, because in the past 2 years they keep measuring both of them, how often they attack the hoop, how often they're even dunking. And Ja Morant year by year is going down. And right now, Tim Bontemps, I don't know if he has something, like he has like a bullseye on Ja Morant, but he stated that he has evidence that Ja Morant isn't even a top player in the league.
Him and Kevin O'Connor have been making heavy statements on that, taking a lot of digs at Zion. Not Zion, Ja.
Ja, yeah. And I believe Tim Bontemps, as we're going to get into the second part of this, I believe he knows something internally, because he also did a different segment with ESPN very quietly after Ja Morant's second gun incident. But first, we're going to play his initial statement about Ja not necessarily being a top player in the league.
No, I mean, it's not even. I'm not even sure he's a top 10 point guard in the league. I mean, it's an incredibly deep position, but
Well, he's a top 10 talent.
Right,
no,
but he's
not
he's
sure
not
he is. I'm not sure he's a top 10 talent either.
Talent,
one of the most
talent, no
talented-
question.
Well,
Production.
hold
He's one
on,
of the most
hold
talented
on.
players in the league.
No, he's first of all, he absolutely is not at this point.
He absolutely is.
No, he's not.
Talent, he is.
He's a point
Production is
guard. Hold
different.
on. No, wait a second. Let's just stop. I'm saying we need to really examine the situation. Ja Morant is a point guard who doesn't really play defense and can't really shoot. And he's not nearly as athletic as he was a couple years ago.
Facts. Tim Bontemps is speaking facts right here. He does not attack the hoop as much as he used to. I did a segment where I actually did a kind of play-by-play versus, the game in which, he kind of had the issue with the coach against the Lakers, and I replayed how he used to look like going up against the Lakers with AD and LeBron on the floor. He used to look like the best player. So I'll link that in the description below, but it's a night and day difference. He does not attack the hoop like that. I don't even think he's capable of even jumping or just even getting up like that. Like every minute he put pressure on the rim, it was non-stop, and he's not attacking the hoop like that. Even in chances where, he could attack the hoop. I seen him have an empty side pick and roll. He could have easily went downhill, and he's not doing that. I don't think he's capable like he's used to doing back in 2022 and also in 2023.
I mean, dude, I think the top 10 point guard conversation, I do think like he's at the end of the top 10, but I don't know. The idea that he has he's not talented enough to be top 10, I thought that was kind of out of whack. Like, I'll admit, guys like Cade Cunningham, Jalen Brunson, those guys passed him up for sure. 100%, bro. You can't argue against it. I think Darius Garland passed him up as a top 10 point guard. But I'm like, bro.
But I think Bontemps was making reference to top 10 overall. Top 10 overall.
Top 10 overall point guard?
Yeah, I don't think he's top 10 overall. And I don't even think last season he was top.
Better?
I don't even think he even cracked top 10.
No, last season. I mean, can you name better? I can only name I guess Luka is considered a point guard.
Oh,
you got.
Let me see. Wait, hold on. I have my list. Matter of fact, I have my because I did a segment on the NBA hierarchy.
Off the top of my head, obviously Brunson, Luka, Cade Cunningham.
I did an NBA hierarchy before the season started, and Ja is definitely not top 10. He's definitely not top 10.
Damn, did you have Ja at least flirting with the top 10?
No, the thing is, I didn't have it according to rankings. I had it according to. I did it very different. I had it in tiers, but I actually had a pyramid with ladders in between the tiers. So it's not really a top 10 because I stated All-Star break. I will check back with the list, and some guys will move up and down the ladder, so it's not permanent. So I kind of did it very different than like a ESPN or like some of these other platforms would do. It's very different. It's not really matter of fact, I'm gonna send you a screenshot of it. So players coming into the season I had above Ja, Jokic, SGA, Curry, Luka, Kawhi, KD, Ant-Man.
Yeah, I'm talking point guard. Because the discussion was point guard.
No, not point. No, that's not what Bontemps said. Bontemps said he's not a top 10 talent overall.
Okay, I agree with that.
Yeah, he's not. So just looking at my pyramid, he's definitely not top 10. He's not better than AD. Even though AD came into the season overweight, AD last season when he came into the year, he was killing it. He's not better than even I wouldn't say he's not even better than Jaylen Brown. I wouldn't even say that. Jaylen Brown has a better impact. He plays defense.
Jaylen, bro, I'm gonna be honest. I have Scotty Barnes over Ja Morant.
Yeah, I have James Harden over Ja Morant. Jalen Brunson, Wemby, J Dub from OKC
is a better player.
Yeah, Donovan Mitchell, James Harden, Kawhi, KD, Luka, Anthony Edwards, Stephen Curry, SGA, Giannis, right there. Jokic. That already he's outside of the top 10.
He's outside of the top.
Yeah, Jalen Williams. He might even be outside of the top 15.
Dude, he's outside of he's top 30, top 20, top 30, bro, at best.
Yeah, like the way I did my pyramid is not really based off of like the way these guys are marketed. It's based off of the impact in the league today.
John Morant has declined. Bro, I'm not gonna lie. As terms of impact, I haven't seen a player decline this fast.
Yeah, but do you see my list?
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, so the tier 3, because there's one below the tier 3. That's guys that are perennial all-stars. But the tier 3 are guys who made the all-star or who could be left off the all-star team. So that's the way I did it. And as you can see, I have ladders. So mainly tier 2 are guys that normally make the all-star team. I actually moved J-Dub up into tier 1 based off of what he did last season. Eventually, Jalen Brunson, I bumped him up there too because I made adjustments while I did the video. But
yeah, bro, I'm not gonna lie. A lot of your tier 3s, they're gonna be bumped up big time, bro. Randall's having a crazy season. Kate Cunningham's having a crazy season.
Yeah,
a lot of these guys. Maxey.
Yeah, tier 3 is really perennial all-star guys who made the all-star team or are perennials. You know what I'm saying? Or guys or guys who you know what they say, get snubbed. You get snubbed off the all-star team. But tier 2, as you can see, tier 2 is very crowded. The only person I put out of tier 2 I expect to graduate up is I put J-Dub up in tier 1. Jamal Murray, if he continues strong, I could put him up in tier 1.
Bro, Cade is gonna go tier 2. Cade is gonna go tier 1.
Cade is gonna go tier 1, but Cade he at least gotta get into the second round.
Yeah, because Cade is crazy right now.
Yeah,
bro.
he's crazy right now. But again, the tier 2 fits him because he's a regular all-star. But when you start getting up to tier 1, you have proof in the playoffs. Yeah. You have proof in the play. Like you're kind of like a steady. People know what they're gonna get out of you in the playoffs. That's the real tier 1 status.
Is that why Embiid is tier 1?
Embiid is still tier 1, but I want to check back because I have him tier 1 based off of what he's done. You know, he's a guy you know what you're gonna get out of him in the playoffs. This is before we see his health. This is coming into this season. So Embiid right now, I'm still like, you know, I'll still leave him up at tier 1, but come All-Star break, I'm gonna judge what happens this season. It's not based off of last year. Once it hits All-Star break, it's all gonna be fully based off of what's going on this season. I expect Jamal Murray to be in tier 1. James Harden, James Harden is gonna get bumped up to tier 1. If Wemby keeps the Spurs at a top seed, I expect him. He's the only one I expect to be in tier 1, and by the end of the season, be on that ladder for almost superstar.
Super for sure.
Yeah, I expect him. Yeah, so like that's the way I did that list right there. But,
Anthony Davis, I want to talk about later, bro.
Yeah,
he's someone I want to talk about later.
Right now, I have him climbing down that ladder where James Harden is at, but he's on the downhill part. He's climbing down that ladder.
Like him and the Mavericks, I want to talk about, bro, today.
Yeah, but hold on, let me continue with the Bontemps. I wasn't done with the Bontemps clip.
So, at one point, he was one of the most electrifying players in the league, unquestionably. I would absolutely not say he's one of the most talented players in the league at this point. And I don't think he's certainly not among the 5 best point guards in the league. I'm not sure he's among the 10 best. Like, I would just say flat out, Darius Garland at this point, I'd rather have Darius Garland than Ja Morant. For Darius Garland is not a perfect player by any means, but Darius Garland's an offensive engine by himself. He's a way better shooter. Like, Ja is, again, in a league where everybody's relying on shooting now. He doesn't really shoot it. He doesn't guard. He's not really available. And he's not as athletic as he was a couple years ago. So, you know, like, he's still a good player. Like, he obviously had the game winner the other night against Phoenix, had a nice game. Like, I'm not saying he isn't good. There's also a million good point guards in the NBA. We talk about it all the time. We keep talking about how there's not really a need for teams to go get point guards because so many teams have one. But, you know, to your point, big man, when you look at this situation, like, where are the Grizzlies going with Ja Morant? Why is it worth dealing with this over and over and over again when they now could potentially have 2 top, 8, 10 picks in this year's draft? They've got Cedric Coward, who looks like a good player. They've got Jalen Wells. They've got Zach Edey. Like, to me, I think you've got to look hard in the mirror about not only trading Ja Morant, but trading Jaren Jackson Jr. Like,
he's just going to blow it all up. This isn't
Yo, Bontemps is going ham, man. I'm not going to lie.
The not general manager, the journalist is not wrong. I think with John Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr., I think the experiment is done. The problem is Jaren Jackson Jr. is on a brand new contract he signed during the offseason. And John Morant, obviously, he's looking for a new contract. And I think the main problem we're forgetting, bro, it's like the Memphis can trade John Morant. But who's taking that bite? Who's going to actually bite for John Morant? I've seen a lot of fans want him to go Minnesota. My thing is, why would Minnesota sign or take John Morant? You're going to have to gut your roster. Either you're going to have to give up Julius Randle, who's crazy this season, Rudy Gobert, who's one of the best defenders, one of the best big men in the league, who honestly, the big man position is very valuable when you're going up against Jokic. And Rudy Gobert, he was great against Jokic the past few times he's played him in the playoffs the past few years. And obviously, McDaniels, that's obvious, everyone knows how important a small forward is. So it's like, who's really going to take the bite? Will Miami take the bite? Miami is an organization that didn't even bother taking the bite for Damian Lillard, let alone someone like John Morant.
I feel we don't have to go deep into like who's going to take the bite for Ja, because the way this new CBA works, teams can't just surprisingly pop up and take on a salary like Ja Morant unless they're a really shitty team with a lot of young players that could afford to absorb his contract. But I think it's more than likely that the Memphis Grizzlies could end up getting rid of their coach than Ja leaving the team. Because
that's the more logical.
Because remember, they are making money from selling tickets with Ja Morant being a draw. They are making a lot of money. That's another political side that you could look at things. They are making money.
Not only that, you're not going to let him walk for nothing.
Exactly. But teams are also not going to take on his salary as easily. The NBA is just not set up like that today. It's just not.
Why would you? Someone was like, his values plummeted. He's a free agent. If Minnesota, if Miami are actually...
He's not a free agent. His contract is up in 2028.
But he's due for an extension, right?
He's probably due for early extension, but teams don't have to. They don't have to really bite into it. He could be almost like a 2-year expiring for some team that just probably wants to get rid of money.
Yeah, but regardless, I think a lot of it is just like, I just don't think Memphis are in a position, or John Morant's in a position where they could determine the future of where that team goes. In terms of John Morant's future, in terms of
not yet, because he's still a draw. They're making, most importantly, outside of basketball, they're making money. They're making money selling him as a draw, so it's still working. But there is something internally that's happening with Memphis, because Tim Bontemps, this is not the first time he's speaking like this. Just like Zion is still selling tickets in New Orleans, it's still a draw at the end of the day. But Tim Bontemps, once again, he knows something, because right here, I'm gonna play a soundbite. This happened after the second gun incident. He did a segment with ESPN. Remember, ESPN gave Ja Morant that softball interview with Jalen Rose after the first gun incident. But the second time around, a little bit different sentiment. And they had the interview go through low key because they only debuted it on ESPN radio, I believe. But check it out. Check out how they're talking about Ja Morant and his father, most importantly.
And what role would you say his father has played in this? Because he's been a very visible part of Ja Morant's career from the beginning.
Yeah. T. Morant certainly has become a celebrity in his own right. He's a courtside constant. We mentioned the incident with the Pacers in Memphis last year. He's right there arguing with the Pacers alongside Devontae Pack. He got into it with Shannon Sharpe at a game in Los Angeles when Shannon Sharpe was arguing with some Grizzlies players. He came in, T. Morant, and got involved in that. And again, I think that there have been I know that there have been some concerns within the Grizzlies organization and within the NBA that T. Morant has struggled to find the line between being a supportive father and being part of the entourage, or being a supportive father and being a celebrity. One source put it to me like this. He said, T has been a major driving force in all of this. He never made the NBA, but this was his chance to live like he's an NBA superstar.
That's not crazy?
Yeah.
So that's I believe that's Tim McMenamin, or it might be Bontemps, I believe. Yeah, they're letting it be known. See, they're stating that sources are telling them this internally about Ja Morant, and they're even questioning his father. Like, listen to the way the initial question was framed. Listen to the way the initial question was framed, because either way you answer it, you look guilty. Listen.
And what role would you say his father has played in this? Because he's been a very visible part of Ja Morant's career from the beginning.
See the way the question was framed?
Yeah.
So, so no matter what, you know, Ja got to watch his back. But they sent that warning, right, in the fall of 2023. This is after the two gun incidents. So coming into that season, Memphis was already... It seemed like they already kind of had it, you know, I don't want to say they had it up to here, but, you know, their patience started to wear thin.
Now, of course, bro, it's a multi-million-dollar investment with Ja Morant. But I also think, like, asking about his father's influence, like, we're not talking about a 25, 26-year-old man. It's kind of a, it's kind of an interesting kind of dynamic, bro. Like, Ja Morant's old enough to make his stupid decisions.
Facts. But you know what? Ironically, at the same time, current contract is going to be up in 2028. So is the Memphis Grizzlies being at FedEx Forum. Because Ja Morant's, you know, future in Memphis is not the only thing in question. Because right now, Adam Silver, he actually spoke to Chris Mannix at Sports Illustrated, and he let them know that relocation for certain teams is not out of the question. Let's just put it like that. You know what I'm saying? It's on the table, but it's you know, they're not gonna look away from it. We're here in Vegas. Seattle want to get teams, but the NBA has put in a lot of energy on teams overseas with the Euro League that they want to form. That's a brand new revenue for the league. And hey, I don't know if the owners want to expand the league and dilute the pool even further, especially with the talent as well as with the TV money. So hey, who knows? Ja Morant's contract is going to be up, ironically, the same year that the stadium, FedEx Forum, you know, their lease is up with the Memphis Grizzlies. The Grizzlies also ranked at the bottom in the league in attendance.
Well, I think also, from what I've seen, a lot of ESPN journalists, most notably, obviously, Stephen A. Smith, he's talked about the danger and the crime of Memphis. So it seems like there's also a media angle on attacking the Memphis Grizzlies, or the Memphis city. And obviously, you know, the NBA wants to obviously expand its markets. I could either see them move to Nashville, which I don't know how that work. I know Nashville is just a bigger tourist destination than Memphis. It's not my strong forte. Would I like Memphis Grizzlies to stay? Sure.
I would like them to stay. Because even though I come out of NYC, I believe the NBA should be in every region, because the Memphis Grizzlies, when they had Ja, you know, they were all in and popping. They had a different feel. They brought a different energy and look. When they would come out the locker room, they would be dancing. They brought a different energy. That's why I feel like the NBA has to be located in certain areas, because them being located in Memphis, they give people in Alabama access to go to NBA games.
I also liked when Zach Randolph, the Mark Gasol, Mike Conley era, they were fun. Like, Memphis produced some fun times in basketball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so every location brings their own flair to the league. And you know, just quickly going to Vegas or just Seattle, I don't know, and leaving Memphis, leaving that whole region just empty. You know, the Grizzlies are not going to have that same aura that they had with Ja when they were in Memphis, you know, with the dancing, with the music, just the overall culture, the way it is over there. I feel like the league can't forget certain pockets of the country, because it brings a different flavor to the NBA.
You know, obviously, like, these are working class cities, bro. So a lot of their economies are tied into these sporting events. This is in New York, bro. People don't go to Memphis for like vacation, or it is in LA, or it is in Miami. It is in Vegas. It's a working class city, bro.
But also some of these places that they want to relocate the teams, the cities are very corporate. They're not, you know what I'm saying? They're not going to bring a certain flair to the NBA like it once had. Like, Seattle does deserve a basketball team, don't get me wrong, but Vegas, you know, it's still an unproven market. You know what I'm saying?
It's a tourist market, bro.
Yeah,
like,
it's a tourist market.
In Vegas.
You know,
it isn't. Yeah.
Yeah, of course, you know, like Vegas is, you know, fun for people to go to, but what kind of energy are they gonna bring to the league? Like, are they gonna bring their own kind of flair, like how the team was in Memphis? Like, I just don't see it. You know, same thing for like even like the Oakland Raiders. They went to Vegas, but the Raiders don't even have the same aura like they did when they was in Oakland.
No, hell no.
It's not
Bro,
even
it's
close.
like Memphis, like Vegas only works for like boxing and UFC events if we're keeping it real, you know?
Yeah, I mean that's crazy.
Yeah,
That
I don't know how it worked with the 82 season game of 82 game season of basketball. Like, how does that work?
Yeah.
How often are people actually gonna make the drive? Or are people gonna attend back to backs? One thing about, I guess you could say, Oklahoma, for example, is, you know, people are like, even when Oklahoma's crap, people still attend to those games.
Yeah, they got a loyal fan base. They got a very, very loyal. They didn't even let people sit courtside in the finals with a Pacers jersey. You know what I'm saying? Like, they have a different look at their stadium feel. No other stadium in the NBA is like that, with the blue shirts, the way the crowd is going crazy. OKC, like no other stadium looks like that when you're watching NBA games.
There's not a point where you could hear like a pen drop, bro. It's loud 24 the whole game, the whole 2-3 hour game, you know.
And once again, the Raiders left Oakland with all that branding, that rebel branding, and they went to Vegas, and it's not been the same.
Bro, I'm gonna be honest.
That's kind of crazy.
Like, with the Golden State Warriors too, bro. Since they left Oracle, Warriors been like they've been cool, but it's not like that Oracle feeling. I remember when they won in 2015, bro. When they won 2015, bro, it felt like that stadium just went crazy, ape shit.
It had a different pop. Today, it's very corporate. You can just see it. Like, it doesn't have. It's not the same energy. It's not the same energy. But imagine if every NBA team was like that, where the energy was just like as corporate as that. It's not gonna pop out of the television screen the same.
Bro, you're not making any organic, fandom. One thing I appreciate about Indiana and Oklahoma is you saw the fandom of Indiana and Oklahoma. You could use, Toronto as an example. You could use Cleveland as an example. These aren't teams that free agents go to, obviously, but these are teams that are able to build like a ground up, your working class fan base. And they give it all in these games, bro. I think there's like a beauty to that, bro.
That's a perfect example. The Pacers, yeah. Indiana. Yo, as a New Yorker, when the Knicks go to Indiana, that is a tough place to fucking play. That is a tough place to win. Yeah, it's a really tough place to play. Same thing for Utah. Utah Jazz, their stadium is crazy loud. I don't know if they got a new stadium. Now, they didn't get a new stadium yet. I think they renovated it. But that stadium is crazy loud. And, once again, I just think Adam Silver has to be careful with chasing the corporate dollars too much by relocation. The only team I would say that probably needs to relocate because there's just no aura, there's just nothing, no culture, is the Pelicans. Yep, and the Pelicans are a team where I believe their stadium, they're also coming for contract renewal. And I think the NBA should strongly consider moving that team until they find an expansion owner who's willing to bring a culture down there. Because I believe the owner is the same owner for the Saints. They care about football more. It's very, very obvious.
Yeah, I think the Pelicans are like fifth priority, bro. To be honest with you, like the people care more about the Baton Rouge University, the LSU, than they care about the Pelicans. Even in basketball, they care more about them.
The Pelicans sound like a good idea for the NBA to be located there. But I just think culturally, I just don't think it's a good fit.
Ownership plays a huge role, man.
I don't even think it's that. I just think culturally, it's just the city. Sometimes the city sounds like a good idea, but culturally, they're just not on the team like that.
Because you tried with Chris Paul, you tried with Anthony Davis, you tried with Zion Williamson.
Yeah, it just doesn't work.
That team with that city. Because Anthony Davis was not treated like as a big deal at all in New Orleans.
Not at all. But Adam Silver, they got plans with the international basketball.
I'm not a fan of the European idea, bro. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not a fan.
I understand it. I think it's genius. For money wise, it's genius because the European leagues, They do not know how to monetize like that. They need the NBA's help. They need the NBA's help. They do not know how to commercialize their sport. Their sport is too, there's just no flair to it. Like some of their most popular teams are struggling financially. That tells you everything you need to know.
I get the NBA wants to bail them out, bro, but I don't know. I'm not a fan of incorporating them.
Not bail them out, to show them how to make their league an entertainment product.
Bro, but let's be honest, bro. Teams like players don't go to Toronto. I doubt they're gonna go to France. They're gonna go to Germany to play basketball, bro. If they're not going to a different country up north, I doubt they're gonna go up to Europe to play basketball or Israel or whatever.
No, it's not about the NBA players. It's about what I think the NBA is really doing. They're establishing a foothold there because low key they want to make a pipeline to get into the NBA through Europe, because it's not only about the professional teams, it's about the club teams underneath. So what happens when the NBA establishes, let's say, a 12-team league, and all 12 of those teams have a youth 17, a youth 14, a youth 13. Once they start having those teams, you know how many American kids are going to go over there, go to school, 5 days a week, practice all week, play one game a week, and just do training. And then that league has NBA connections, and they could easily get into the league. It's an easier path for the NBA to actually train the players that they want them trained a certain way, because it translates into the NBA. They don't want a bunch of LaMelo balls coming from AAU. They don't want that. They don't want they don't want a bunch of Jonathan Kumingas taking 7 years to kind of get into a professional basketball flow and just get that AAU system out of get that AAU system out of them. Same thing for Jalen Green. They don't want that type of talent coming into the league relentlessly. It's unpolished.
Bro, but I'm saying, how do you incorporate that into an 82-game system, like 82-game per season system, bro?
What do you mean? These kids are gonna start having options to get into the NBA by declaring that they're professional.
You're talking about like integrating Europe into the NBA, right?
No, it's not integrating Europe. It's a pipeline to give kids in America. Hold on,
like NCAA or it's
let me
G League type of shit, right?
let me finish. It's a pipeline to make American kids professionalize. If they're good at age 9, 10, 11, 12, they can go over there and they'll play for the semi-pro teams underneath the professional teams. And if they're like Luka and they're really good, they'll get promoted. They don't get promoted based off of age. They get promoted based off of skill. It's a difference. And then by the time they come into the NBA, they've been a professional since they've been 9, 10 years old, just like Luka. That's what they're looking to do.
So I guess you're saying a transfer program.
It's not a transfer program. It's just an option for the NBA to have a different pipeline, because what's coming out of the NCAA, the one and done, and also the AAU circuit, it's just not working, bro. It's just not translating fast enough. It's not translating fast enough. Like, these guys have way more raw talent, but it's just very unpolished, man. It takes 7 years to just acclimate them into the NBA system. It's too long. The pipeline's fucked up.
I saw Silver trying to make it like into FIFA, and I'm like, bro, this shit's not gonna work, bro. Like,
no, he's not trying to make it into FIFA. I think what it is, it's a different revenue. It could show Europe how to commercialize, and it's also good for streaming, because if they build a good enough European product, they can sell it for streaming, and they could also eventually integrate it with the NBA, do like an in-season tournament where it's like different leagues, just for like a week. They could do a cross promotion. Cool. Yeah, they could do a cross. And then when they do a cross promotion, they could also do a cross promotion for the youth teams. Now you could see the American kid that's super nice. He's been a pro since he's been 9 years old, and he's just like Luka. He's 17 years old, but he's playing with the professional team. And then by the time he comes back to America, he's nice as fuck. He's been a pro for years. Like, to me, this is a better option than all those AAU private teams where parents are like paying their way for their kids to get on certain teams. Kids are flying here and there. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. That's why all your MVPs have been European, because it's not like they're better. They have a better youth system than the American kids.
Bro, they have a better basketball foundation than American kids now.
It's not the American kids' fault. It's the system that they're in.
Of course, bro, it's your teacher's fault why you failed the test, right? At the end of the day. It's like that, you know?
Not really. It's the culture. If you go home, your parents don't care if you do your homework. It's the culture. It's the same thing with American basketball. The culture is, if you're a kid, you're super nice. An AAU team is gonna fly you out to play here. Then the rules are different. The shot clock is different. There might not even be a shot clock. The hoop height is different. Meanwhile, the European kid like Luka is playing under one hoop size. 1 week he's learning how to post up. The next month he's spending a whole month on passing, and then by the time he's like, and then he keeps getting promoted based off of his skill, not his age. Meanwhile, you have 15-year-old kids that are 6'5" playing against 15-year-olds. Meanwhile, he could be playing against 18-year-olds. You see the difference?
Yeah.
It's a major difference, man. Like Adam Silver is actually starting to. It's a very slow process because it's gonna happen very gradually. But the NCAA, people think that they got stripped of talent now with the NIL. It's even gonna be worse once Adam Silver gets this shit going in Europe, and you have these kids going pro at age 9, 10, 11 years old. They don't have to worry about going to this shitty AAU that was created by some dad that's trying to live out his glory days. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. Or his dreams of making the NBA.
Yeah, or the politics of a Nike camp versus, you know, a Nike player can't play an Adidas player. You know what I'm saying? There's too much of that politics, man. Like, it's the American youth basketball system is really all over the place, man, to be honest with you. It's all over the place.
I mean, do you see it with the NBA's? Like, you see that with the drafts and the younger like players coming in. The Europeans, they come in more polished and more developed, and a lot more of a maturity. If you see, like, they're able to carry themselves a lot better in terms of media presence and everything. Where I think Americans, they kind of had a hard time of that thus far. Is Zion a part of the list?
Nah, I don't have Zion on the list, but I do have the Draymond Green and Kevin Durant, their beef continuing. Draymond Green. Yo, Draymond's a big troll. Draymond is a fucking big troll. But before we get to it, because Draymond's just continuing this beef, bro. But before we get to it, I'm going to play you how it all started, because Draymond has been poking at KD for a minute. Just take a listen to what he had to say in the 2022 championship.
2022 wasn't really a championship team. Like, the championship teams that I've been on. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't really a championship team. And I'll tell you, like, after every series, me and Steph would be walking to do an interview after we won a series. And we walk and laugh.
Yeah.
And we laugh like, yo, how?
How are we doing this shit?
How are we winning, like, these series right now? And we literally laugh like, this is funny. But that's also when Steph took that next step of like, nah, I'm really one of them GOATs. Like,
for sure.
And he carried us. But that was the toughest one. We weren't favored. Like,
hell no.
Everybody was calling us too small. Boston, they too athletic, they too big. We didn't stand a chance. And we went and made it happen. So that one was my favorite one.
Okay.
And then also, you know, I told KD, I'm gonna win when you leave here.
Out the gate.
And
you did that shit.
I did that. Yeah. So that one was the most fulfilling for me.
So ever since I know KD heard that shit. He heard that shit. So
KD is the most tapped in NBA player, bro. For sure, you heard that shit.
Oh yeah, for sure. KD heard that shit. The NBA is a fucking petty league for real. But KD, I think he had a documentary on Netflix, and
Starting Five?
Huh?
The Starting Five.
Yeah, I don't know what is it called, but yeah, it's probably that. I heard about that. It's like Jason Tatum.
It's like multiple players.
Oh,
Jason Tatum, Sabonis, Harden, LeBron James, obviously, all the stars, you know?
Yeah, but he kind of he said something about how offense wins championships. Let's check it out.
You have to score baskets if you want to win a championship. Playing defense, we can get any one of y'all in here to bend your legs, not touch the basketball, slide left and right, and contest the shot. That's easy. But when we're talking about winning at a high level against the best of the best, you cannot just do that and win a basketball game. You have to make shots. And that's why I work on my game so much. So if you want to win, you got to make shots.
Yo, this is really a fucking petty league, man. We got to get defenders slide. We could make anyone slide. Who is he talking about, man?
I've been close to 8 years.
Yo, he's talking about fucking Draymond. Yo, this league is fucking crazy. But Draymond end up responding back to that shit. Like, you know, these guys are pocket watching every fucking comment. They're doing everything underneath the sun.
Those who don't believe defense is as valuable as it is, they simply just don't win. I don't think anyone's ever really been hellbent on caring about the opinion of those that don't win, because your opinion equals zero.
Nah, man, Draymond, that was whack. Like, the guy won with you, man. 2 Finals MVP. And
it's crazy you said that, because Draymond multiple times has stated that we would have never won if KD didn't come through.
I mean, bro, come on. Like, we all know, like, the way the Warriors won those 2 championships, bro. Like, before even the playoffs started, before even the regular season started, we all had the Warriors winning those 2 years they wanted.
Yeah, man. It's just, I feel like throughout the retirement years of Kevin Durant and Draymond Green, they're going to be going back and forth about this shit. It's never going to end.
You know what's funny? They both did a podcast too, where it seemed like, I guess they were selling to the greater audience or investors, or I don't know who they were selling it to, but they were pretending like they're cool and it's all banter and shit like that. Kevin Durant was on the Draymond podcast.
Yeah,
and he threw Steve Kerr under the bus in that same podcast.
They're frenemies.
Yeah, it's a weird relationship. I mean, dude, they're both over 35, so it's very teenage girl type shit. But you know, it makes for good NBA drama. It just kind of like, I think both of them, like, I think Draymond's rewriting history in 2022. I'm not gonna lie. The Warriors had Steph. They had Jordan Poole. Andrew Wiggins was an all-star. Draymond had one of his best seasons. Like, there was no doubt that the Warriors were gonna make a deep run.
Mm-hmm. But
deepest roster.
At the end of the day, they needed fucking KD, man. They flew all the way from Golden State to Montauk, Long Island. That's at the very edge of the East Coast.
Draymond called the fucking guy.
Yeah, man, to talk to KD. Come on, bro. You guys needed him.
You called the guy in the parking lot. And there's a theory that's why Harrison Barnes doesn't fuck with Draymond Green. I don't know how much weight it holds, but it's because of Draymond called him in the parking lot after the game. So it's like, bro, what are we doing here?
Yeah, it's kind of... But you know what's so crazy? Low-key, the reason why the Warriors, the 72-win Warriors team, kind of like fell in that series against LeBron, blew that 3-1 lead, is because their mid-range game, Harrison Barnes ended up bricking nonstop. Like, their mid-range game disappeared. Yeah, he was their mid-range guy, and he ended up disappearing. But at the end of the day, man, Draymond, he's going to pretend, he's going to use the narrative that the NBA audience has on KD, like not winning one by himself. He's going to use that against KD because he's fucking petty, knowing that he knows deep down inside KD helped them win those 2 championships they got. He knows that.
When you have, like, in my opinion, Kevin Durant was the best player in 2017 and 2018. Some may argue LeBron, fair enough. Regardless, you have 2 of the top 3 players in the league on your team, bro. Like, no doubt, you know, credit deserves to go to Kevin Durant. No doubt about it. I think the whole idea of trying to discredit him, it's corny as shit and it's dishonest, and it does a disservice to Draymond's legacy too. Because at some point, bro, you got to big yourself up to be more important. Like, you're not going to tell me Clay was more important than you're not going to tell me Clay is more important than Kevin Durant in those finals. And you're most importantly not telling me that Draymond was more important. Because I think the defense wins you championship. That was for him to big himself up to being above Kevin Durant. Which, bro, defense does win you championship. But when you got an offensive player that NBA has never seen, like Kevin Durant, like, yeah, come on, bro. Like, Kevin Durant is getting you that 25, 30 plus points per game. That shit is winning you championships, man. It sucks too because, bro, I look at 2022. Steph Curry was able to defeat the stigma around him. That's one thing that I love about that run. Unfortunately, I don't know what they're trying to do with this. I think it's very dishonest, and I think it's very stupid.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, their legacies are all tied together, so they kind of have to remain cordial.
Yeah,
because they're gonna have to make appearances together.
Bro, of course they're all getting their jersey retired in San Francisco. They're gonna have reunions, whatever have you. But it's just funny, looking at it right now. It's like, man, you guys are a contract away from retiring. You know, like this might be your last contract. You might as well just celebrate what y'all achieved together.
Facts. Did you see Victor Oladipo during the preseason?
What, like him working out?
No, him playing against the NBA teams.
No, I didn't watch that.
Whoa, he's on a Chinese team. They played against the Clippers, the T-Wolves. He played against a couple NBA teams. He was killing it in almost every single game. His legs just look way better. He was dunking on alley hoops. Like, he looked like the old Victor. And come to find out, you know, because he made comments during the NBA Finals when Tyrese went down with the Achilles injury, when everyone kind of knew he was clearly hurt since like game 4 or 5. Yeah, he was clearly hurt, but you know, of course he's gonna play because of the finals. But he kind of tweeted out how, we're gonna, you know, soon we're gonna talk about, you know, have an honest conversation about what's really going on behind the scenes. And come to find out, man, the Pacers had botched his surgery. Like, they really cost him his career. Like, they botched his knee surgery, and he didn't find that out until like 2 seasons later when he went to Miami. I'm gonna play the soundbite. Like, check it out real quick, man, because this is kind of crazy. Because I don't think the NBA, with all their politics, they're never gonna have him come back in the league, because this is really the storyline. Because if people see how good he is still, I believe right now he's only age 33,
32, 33.
Damn, that's crazy. He's been out of the league for a minute. And
for a minute, I think he's been out the league since his Miami run. What was that? 2022, 2023, when he got injured mid-season.
Yeah, if they see how good he is, a lot of people are going to be asking questions about the Pacers and their medical staff. Like, what happened?
Well, I think it's just the NBA conversation we're having, right? Because you look at Kawhi Leonard, he's still dealing with the botched surgeries performed on him during San Antonio's run. I'm saying that you're gonna have to look at the whole NBA and how they, like, some of their ethical practices, or like kind of like how they go about surgeries and all that stuff. Because you look at Kawhi, he's still dealing with that San Antonio injury from 2017. So we're looking at 8 years since that injury has happened, and he's still on and off. You know, all that stuff. You know, obviously Victor Oladipo you just brought up, and there's plenty of other examples.
Brandon Roy, that was really
Brandon
questionable. Greg Oden,
Danny Granger. Yep. Even the recent Zion, like, you just think, you know, like, okay, like there's something. There's a lack of transparency within the medical staff, and obviously we're seeing like the product, bro. Like, a lot of these guys get injured 2 weeks into the season, and then it's like, oh shit, same injuries reoccurring. They have to sit out more. They're on time limit. Joel Embiid, all those guys. I think Zion's out for a whole 7 days reevaluation.
Yeah,
so it's like
Joel Embiid actually said, like, he kind of they forced him to come back early all the time.
Yeah,
and it's caused a lot of extra issues.
Yeah, of course, bro. You're playing at a high intense, and there's a lot of stress on your legs.
Yeah, but let's check out what Victor had to say about the Pacers botched surgery.
And the thing too, when you're dealing with injury, right, and people don't understand, if you consciously you're at an imbalance once you become injured. Like, neurologically, it's a neurological imbalance once you get hurt again. So then on top of that, if you're telling yourself that you're lesser than, then it is going to contribute to how you heal. But again, it's if I sign that and it's like, oh, you know, I'm signing this, and you know, I'm just going to be a role player the rest of my career, and I can sign this and just make some money. But I've always wanted more for myself in this game. I consider myself of that regard. I don't consider myself of lesser than. And yeah, you know, unfortunately, I got hurt after. It felt like my soul left my body when I first got hurt, if I'm being honest with you. It felt like that it was one of the saddest moments I've ever experienced as an individual, because you see how it's like, it's almost like, you know, you get to the mountaintop, and instead of putting a flag there, you get crucified.
Damn.
That's what it felt like. It felt like you know what I'm saying? It felt like I died on that floor, honestly. If I'm being honest with you, that's exactly what it felt like. It felt like death. And as I fell, I remember there being a dent in my leg, and I remember I literally, as I fall, I look up, and I could see my mom. I couldn't see no one else in the arena.
Wow.
Like I could see my mom, I could see my mom's eyes, and I'm just like, nah. And then it's funny, she walks down as soon as we make eye contact, she starts walking down, and then they put me on the stretcher. And then there's a video of me going off on the stretcher and my mom reaching for me and a lady pulling her hand back because they don't know it's my mom.
Yeah.
And it's just funny because I ain't start getting emotional until I'm in the back and I'm going back to get x-rays and I start breaking down and crying. And obviously it's just like, I was told that would never happen to me in the locker room. In that locker room before that happened, I was told by someone else that would, something like the odds of that happening to you are slim to none. And then it actually happened. So add that to it happening.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, it was like, it was other things that led to it. It wasn't like it just miraculously happened.
Yeah.
When there are tendon and ligament issues, there are other signs and other issues prior to them tearing. So the Achilles's, the patellases, the quads's, the ligaments, those don't just happen.
Yeah.
There's something else going on prior to them tearing.
Correct.
So just letting everyone know that.
I'm like, dang.
Yeah, but my, you know, that's so crazy, you know, but it's, you know, it's wild. It's unfortunate. You know what I'm saying? Mine wasn't necessarily a situation where they were like, do something and I didn't do it and it happened. It was more so like, I'm listening to y'all and they're like, oh, no, God forbid. And then it's not going to happen. And then it do, you know? So either way, though, it happens, right?
Yeah.
So once that moment happens, honestly, if I'm being real, when it first happened, I was not in a good place. No one would ever know it, though, because, you know, I taught myself how to be me.
Yep.
I taught myself how to be me and be like this, hey, and deal with my shit on my own. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it was tough though. And, you know, I was looking for anything to fill that void. You go from everyone standing up, standing room onlys, to completely by yourself. Completely by yourself. And the choice is whether to continue or not. Like, I got a ton of talents. Like, I can, like you said, I can sing, I could talk, whatever the talent is, right? It's just like, you can do anything else. You don't have to do this. You don't have to keep doing this. Like, you signed a nice deal, you got bread now, you can go make bread doing something else.
Yeah.
But would that give me peace? Would that make me happy? Would that give me a sense of joy? And nah, probably not. And if I would have stopped before, I would have never accomplished anything. So for me, it was just like, I just got to keep going and see what happens next. And, you know, I put my trust in people that I thought I could trust. And then unfortunately, you know, I played the 2020, so I get hurt 2019. And then after that, COVID hits, right, in 2020. So I come back, I play 13 games after my first injury. And then COVID hits, and then I had to work out outside of my garage. I had no weights, I had nothing. I was just working out in my garage because I couldn't go nowhere. Yes. Yeah. So I was working outside from my garage for my rehab.
That's crazy. Yeah.
So then when I get back, I'm in the bubble. I could barely walk in the bubble.
Wow.
Like, I remember playing them. I remember playing Dwight in 11. I could not walk in the bubble. Damn. I was still playing, though. I couldn't walk, though.
What?
No.
That's crazy.
Like, I couldn't walk. Is because the narrative is that you know you could stop yourself too. Like you could be psyching yourself. Like fear is also in the midst of injury too. So you know they'll say that as well. Like you know it also says that you know you sleeping right, or there's certain things that you could be stopping yourself. Like that's a scientific proof too. Like that's all. We also have some data on that it might be for your brain stopping you. Now they're telling me that too. So now my body and my brain. And so now so I was like, all right, I need to, but I can't. I don't have no time to disconnect because I'm still in the midst of a season. I want to. There's a narrative. It's just an understanding or a narrative that players want to get back as soon as possible. So the next year, I got to get back in 12 months.
And that's on Miami.
No, this is on Indy. This is after my first. This is my first year. I mean, my first year in Indy. Second year in Indy. And then I get hurt, and then COVID hit. Couldn't walk in the bubble. We lose 4-0 against Miami. Then I leave. Then that summer
go to Miami.
Yeah, I'm training. I start in Indy. Mind you, this whole time I don't know my shit is still messed up. Yeah. So I started in Indy. I was second leading scorer the first 7 games, and then they traded me. There's some deeper stories rooted, but I understand why they would trade me. Obviously, it's 1 year left on my deal, so they traded me to Houston. I played in Houston for 2 months. I don't know if you remember that. There was John Wall, me, Christian Wood.
I don't remember. That's crazy.
Yeah, I played in Houston for 2 months, yes. It's just we went on an 8-game losing streak, and then Christian Wood got hurt, respectfully disappeared, and then
he ended up on the Lakers out there.
My bad. And then we just never won again.
So y'all didn't go to the playoffs again?
Then I got traded to Miami that same year.
Wow. So twice in 1 year?
Yeah, twice in 1 year again. Well, I got traded twice in the year before that too, right before I got to Indy. And then I got traded twice in that year as well. And then I got to Miami. I played 5 games. And then on the best game that I was having there, I get a back door from Bam, and then I get a tweak in my leg, this knee, and I'm like, man, come on, man. Yeah. I start jogging back. I'm seeing I can't put no pressure on it. I'm like, what the fuck? So then I go back, and then that's when the doctors told me, they said, I'm sorry no one told you this. I'm just going to have to tell you that, if you were to have continued this, you're probably going to tear your quad again because the way the doctor did your surgery is probably better for a 90-year-old woman.
What? Damn.
That's exactly what he told me, verbatim, a 90-year-old woman. So then I said, okay.
That's a weak guy.
So then at that point, you know what was crazy though, if I'm being honest with you? I was relieved.
Why is that though?
Because I knew it wasn't me.
Right. So now you can start with the mind games.
You was trying to figure out.
I thought it was me. I thought there was something wrong with me. Yeah. I thought there was something wrong with me. But during that time, I was compensating. I was going, if you watch my film, from the time I got hurt to the time that I just got hurt in 2023, I only go right. I can't jump off my right leg. I only jumping off my left leg. Just watch all my film. Watch right-hand drives. I only could go right because I only could jump off my left leg. But I was still doing it, but I could only go that way. I couldn't do this. Mind you, the year before, I got a move on.
So it's 2. You went left on Bron.
Yeah, exactly. I couldn't go left.
It's 2 injuries or 3?
It's 2, but I had a re-repair, so I got cut open 3 times.
Damn. That's crazy. My man got traded through half the league and found out that the initial surgery was botched for a 90-year-old woman.
Bro, it's unfortunate what happened to him. Victor Oladipo, bro, he's a star. He was a star during his time. Made 2 All-Star teams. Became most improved player. Took LeBron James in the Cavs for 7 games in 2018. It sucks what happened to him, obviously. The surgery botches. And, the fast pace of the NBA. Someone 32 able to play really good against Kawhi Leonard, James Harden, having to play overseas. It sucks, but unfortunately, the NBA is a young man's business. But the one positive thing I saw in all of this, and it's a blessing, is that now the NBA market or basketball market is so good that Victor Oladipo can go to China and really build a career there. Now that the NBA kind of closed its door on him, that is a blessing, and it's good that he's taking full advantage of that.
True, but at the end of the day, he's super young, and he showed that, hey, competing teams, they could have easily have picked him up. I don't get why a vet
100%.
minimum is so controversial. But again, when you find out that the Pacers botched his surgery, there's going to be politics there. The NBA don't want a guy balling out, and then everyone's going to be asking, the question that's pretty much the elephant in the room: why hasn't he been in the league the past couple seasons? And the media is eventually going to find out the story is that the Pacers botched the surgery.
Dude, it's a lot of politics, and the problem is now modern day basketball players, not modern day basketball players, but modern day basketball teams are no longer willing to they are no longer adding veterans to their team. A lot of them add the younger players. So a guy like Victor Oladipo, you could say that the surgery was a death sentence.
You think so?
Bro, I mean, what team do you know that has like a lot of veterans, really?
They don't need a lot of veterans. It's just one. Like, we seen DeAndre Jordan get a contract.
But DeAndre Jordan, is Oladipo willing to ride the bench? DeAndre Jordan doesn't give a shit. He's just willing to go for
yeah, but
ride.
Victor's gonna be willing to ride the bench. He just wants to be on the team.
Has he said that?
That's pretty much what he's looking for. Victor's not looking to start. Victor came off the bench for the Miami Heat.
Bro, I get, but the Miami Heat, he still got minutes. DeAndre Jordan isn't really gonna get minutes once Zion is back. Once they figure out Kevin Looney's back. DeAndre Jordan is like just riding the bench. He's going for the show. He's going for whatever, making.
Yeah, but money. Regardless, when Victor gets on a team, he's gonna be a role player. There's no starter. He's not coming in to get a max deal. I don't think he's gonna be a rotational player. Say that again.
I don't think Victor Oladipo would be a rotational player on any team.
Wow, I think he would. From what I've seen, he said his leg is back. From what I've seen, the way he played, because he was dropping like 20 points a game on the Clippers, on the T-Wolves. He was dropping bags on their starters. So I'm just like, and then there was an alley hoop he got up for. I'm like, hey, his legs that look like old Victor. So I'm just like, how is he not on a team? $3 million a $3 million vet minimum is crazy.
Bro, it's not crazy, but I don't know. Like the way I'm looking at it, I think a lot of NBA players would rather like stack their bench depth or their rotation depth with younger players on a rookie contract or something like to that extent. Because a lot of the teams you're looking at right now, bro, there's a lot of younger players coming off that bench. Like, bro, I'm looking at the Lakers. Bronny James is finally getting runs. So clearly, like the NBA and how player management, how the teams are, always looking to go younger and younger. It's pretty evident, especially in this decade, the past decade.
Do you think that from the way you're explaining it seems like the players might have to negotiate the next CBA for vet minimums to count less against the cap, because this is not making any sense. That a $3 million player, but it does make sense at the same time, like what you said, because there are a lot of two-way guys on teams, and teams like the Knicks, even to a degree, the Denver Nuggets, they're trying to save money by getting a lot of two-way guys, keeping them on the roster.
Just look at Russell Westbrook, bro. Russell Westbrook, they told him, don't pick up your contract. And they have two, I guess, veteran players they added. Tim Hardaway Jr., three, Jonas Valanciunas, Hardaway Jr., and Bruce Brown. But rest of their guys is Julian Strawther. It's, it's Peyton Watson. They're going for that younger guy. You look at the Bucks. They're going for younger and cheaper contracts. Cole Anthony, Ryan Rollins, Gary Trent Jr., those kind of guys. And the Lakers, Jake Laveria, Jake Laveria, prime example. They still kept Dalton Connect. So they're willing to build up their bench depth through younger players, and it sucks because like Victor is kind of forced out the league, but it just seems like that's where kind of the NBA is heading, where they want to put a lot of young players a part of their rotation instead of going for already
established vets. And it makes sense.
Yes, and you look at Memphis. Memphis is a prime example of that too. The two of the oldest players in the rotation is Ja John Jaren, and what, they're 25, 26 years old. Colin Coward is a young kid. Jalen Willis is a young kid. Zach Edey's a young kid. You know, there is a young team. All the teams are going young.
You're right. Even when you even look at this year's rookie extensions, only I believe 9 rookies this season got actual extensions, and it's the fewest since 2019. I mean, we can go ahead and touch base on this subject right here because there's a lot of guys like Jalen Ivey, Benedict Mathurin, Jeremy Sohan, Jalen Duran, Mark Williams, Tari Eason. There's a lot of guys. Walker Kessler, Peyton Watson.
Kessler's getting fucked in the next contract, bro. He's out for the whole season.
Damn, but all these guys are about to hit restricted free agency.
Yeah, they're gonna lowball him. Utah's gonna lowball him.
But it might not even matter because the upcoming 2026 offseason teams are gonna have more money to spend. But it's amazing how many guys are just out there and just not even getting qualifying offers.
Bro, even Cam, he had the hamstring injury this game, bro. So all I'm thinking is, man, that 1-year contract that you signed, now it's like, shit, you better hope that hamstring doesn't turn out to be anything major, you know?
Mm-hmm. You're expecting Mathurin and Tari Eason to get a payday?
Tari Eason, I don't know. I could see him being a part of a draft, like a trade for a point guard. I don't know how confident the Rockets are for his future, but I don't know if he's.
But didn't he put up better numbers than Jabari, or very similar numbers than Jabari?
Similar numbers, but Jabari has a lot more potential because he's younger. He's obviously a top.
But he got paid.
Yeah, he got paid, and he's having a good season. Jabari, he's killing it.
Man, that's very hard for the Rockets to come to the negotiating table and even offer, Eason way less than that. It's very hard.
Yeah, because that contract negotiation fell between Houston and Eason before the season started. Out the players you listed, I think Durant is most likely to get another contract within the trade deadline.
Wow. You have Durant.
Durant.
What about Mathurin? I had Mathurin on there.
Mathurin's gonna get a contract.
I don't think so.
You don't think that I don't know how much, but Indiana's gonna have to re-sign him, bro.
Nah, I don't think Indiana's gonna be able to match or whatever he's gonna get. I don't think so.
Ivy's getting lowballed.
Because hold on. Because if Indy wanted to keep Mathurin, they would have extended him already. They wouldn't let.
They would have sent him to the finals.
It's kind of crazy because they let him come into this season knowing that there's no Tyrese Halliburton, there's no Miles Turner. They know he could go off, and they're letting him play it out. That they're not really a team known for paying guys money. They already paid a few guys on that team.
Aaron Nesmith's on a contract. Andrew Nimrod's on a contract. Siakam and Halliburton's on a contract. And McConnell's on a contract. So this is hard it's gonna be tough for them and what decisions they make. Ivy's gonna get lowballed because of his injury record, and I think that the Williams season, Monty Williams season, is gonna hurt his value a lot. I don't know much. I don't know. Jeremy Sohan will be interesting. How the Spurs go about him, but I don't know. He could be replaceable.
I still think Walker Kessler is going to be interesting. He might get that Isaiah Hartenstein deal when he went to the Knicks, and then once he proves his value, he can get a larger contract. That might end up working out for him like that.
And Indiana's gonna bite because Indiana's been trying to trade. I mean, not Indiana. Utah's been trying to trade him, right? Utah can look at his new contract and be like, all right, bro, we're gonna suck for a few seasons, but we can lowball him and kind of look to improve his trade value. You know what I mean? Because I think Utah, I don't know if Ace Bailey hasn't really looked all that great. So, clearly, and Utah's willing to stay in the lottery. So they're tanking. So they could be like, you know what, we'll just, keep him while our players develop.
Yeah, so the players that did get extended, Paolo Banchero, Chet Holmgren, Jabari Smith Jr., Keegan Murray, Sheldon Sharp, Jalen Williams from OKC, Nikolai Jovic in the Heat, Jalen Williams from the Thunder, AJ Green from the Bucks, Christian Braun, Dyson Daniels, Aaron Nesmith. Now, this is where we're gonna go into your. This is one of your favorite teams, the Orlando Magic. Do you think it was a mistake that they extended Paolo for so much money like that? I still think they're gonna question their decision to extend Paolo and also Franz. They maxed out both. Yeah, they maxed out both their rookies.
It looks bad, obviously, like as we're having this conversation, because they look awful right now. The Orlando Magic.
It's still early though. It's still early, but at the same time, they could have negotiated.
Yeah,
they could have negotiated. They didn't have to max out. Just because you can give them the max doesn't mean nowadays you have to max them out. It doesn't mean that. We're watching the Houston Rockets negotiate. There's teams negotiating.
The Houston Rockets, bro, they got good offers for all of their role play, like all of their young core. You look at it, Sengun's on a good contract. Green was on a good contract for them until they traded it, obviously, for Kevin Durant. Jabari's on a decent contract. So it seems like they threw a lot on their core, to be honest with you. And I think the problem with the Orlando Magic this season, I'm not trying to throw all the blame on Paolo, but it seems like Paolo Banchero's lack of really development, especially when it comes to his mid-range, and how instead of going to the hole, he's willing to settle for mid-range jumpers, has really hurt the Orlando Magic.
Yeah, man. Well, we'll see. It's still early on this team. I just think Orlando should have negotiated when it came to those rookie scale extensions. I think they should have negotiated.
Also, the trade fucked them over too, because Desmond Bane does not look good right now.
Yeah, he doesn't. But speaking of Desmond Bane, because there's other players that have pressure this season. One guy that has a lot of pressure is Trae Young. He doesn't have championship pressure, 100%. But he has like it's almost championship pressure, but he doesn't have to win a championship. Pressure. He has he has to have a successful season. He has to prove his value.
Trae Young, bro, my thing with Trae Young, and I've been saying it for years, bro, he is a guy that kind of has to be the first option of your offense, bro. And it's hard when your point guard is 5'11". You know, like Trae Young does not have an off-ball game. So it's very hard for me to imagine him next to another player that, you know, he's able to kind of play off of.
Mm-hmm.
And the Atlanta Hawks, they've been okay so far. You know, obviously this season we're going to see how it all plays out. And, you know, Dyson Daniels has had a lot of, struggling curves. Ricochet has a lot of curves, even though he had a really good game against the Magic a couple nights ago. You know, and you got, obviously Porzingis. Porzingis, I'm kind of iffy on because, bro, I don't know how much of Porzingis is still there.
I don't know if he's gonna be healthy the whole time.
Yeah, that's why they have a heavy rotation of three centers. That one guy, Mohammed. You had the guy from Chino Hills, Big O, and you have obviously Porzingis. So with him, it's like, man, you're taking on a big, you're taking on something big because Porzingis, let's be honest, his game has declined since the New York Knicks, and it seems like it's rapid decline.
Mm-hmm. But continuing on, things to look out for this season. So Trae Young entering into a big year, and also LeBron James's future. The Lakers are cooking up. Is LeBron gonna come back being a third option? That's the real question right now. Is LeBron gonna come back being a third option?
Bro, I think this season will be big for Austin Reeves, and it'll be big for LeBron James. Austin Reeves, he's had struggles in the playoffs. So if Austin Reeves can really elevate his game in the playoffs, we could see him get a contract that he's hoping for. And obviously LeBron, it'll be interesting now because it's Luka's team now. You're not going to tell someone who's damn near going to probably win the scoring championship and someone who's taken over games and won you games when it didn't look like the Lakers were there yet. You're not going to have him cut the possessions less, bro. Luka has elevated the game of DeAndre Ayton. Jake LaVere is playing good. Marcus Smart, bro. God bless him, bro. I don't know what it is, but Marcus Smart's hooping. So the Lakers, they're back. We look at it with Luka. So I'm wondering how much of that will LeBron be able to adjust to being more of a secondary ball handler, off-ball player. because I don't see. I think the Lakers will have to cater more towards Luka, bro. He's your franchise player. He's a guy who just went to the finals 2 years ago.
Man, LeBron about to fake injury himself for most of the season because he's in that stat padding phase of his career. He's just trying to make sure his numbers look good. So by the time he retires, everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, look at his numbers. His numbers are no one has ever averaged this as a career average, like with the total numbers." Because Jordan, remember Jordan, because remember with LeBron, everything is about a Jordan comparison. For some reason, I don't know why, but I think that's one of the biggest mistakes he made in his career. He's trying to fucking say at the end of the day, when I retire, no one has ever averaged these numbers. Because Jordan took a hit. Jordan's averages took a hit when he went to the Wizards. Had he never went to the Wizards, his averages were insane. Field goal percentages, points per game, everything was crazy.
I get that, but bro, I think LeBron, like, you know, obviously I'm not none of us are part of LeBron's team or what he's thinking, but man, if LeBron cannot sabotage this Lakers team, bro. It won't look. I don't even think it'll look good on his legacy or anything. It's not gonna look good on his legacy. He's not gonna look good on the style of play. The Lakers are flowing, so I think the Lakers, what they should do is slowly assimilate LeBron, which I think LeBron's a smart player. I think he'll adopt pretty well into what the Lakers are doing.
Man, it's gonna be interesting. What I think is that LeBron's gonna pretend, you know, he's injured for most of the season. This is not gonna be like a 1 month thing. This is gonna be for most of the season.
You think LeBron's willing to sacrifice the All NBA accolade?
He's not gonna. He shouldn't. He's not supposed to make that. Honestly, he's not supposed to make that. That's ridiculous. If they,
bro, but media loves giving it to him.
Yeah, that's gonna be very hard to give it to him like this season. Like it's I don't know why they keep doing that. But moving on, Zion Williamson. Nah, this is another guy that'll be interesting to watch this season because remember, a couple of seasons ago, he played 72 games. He averaged like 22 points a game. It was nothing crazy. Yeah. He didn't look like a first overall pick. There was no All NBA third team selections. There was no All-Star appearances. It was just regular numbers. And this season, we've seen him lose the weight. He kind of still has that burst, but the Pelicans are a shit team. Let's keep it.
I think with Zion, I don't know. Like, I'm a big Zion Williamson fan. Bro, I think the problem with Zion, I saw it. It's lack of a jump shot. It's the Ja Morant problem where your bursts have kind of been flamed out because of injuries. Like, yeah, he's shown promise. Like, I think everyone loved the Victor Wembanyama poster.
No, I wouldn't.
Then you see,
wait, hold on. I wouldn't say he flamed out because of injuries. I would say his burst is beginning to flame out because it's natural. This is what year?
Oh yeah,
6?
It's natural, but you know, but I'm talking about like him developing his game. A large portion of that is injuries and health, right?
No, hold on. It's lack of development. It's natural for him not to have that same burst as before. He's 6 seasons in. Well, he didn't fully play 6 seasons, but normally his legs will get beat up just like Ja. Ja's legs are getting beat up every year. So it's natural, but there's no evolution outside of that burst. There's just none.
Like he's not shooting threes, he's not shooting jumpers. And you see like teams are willing to put a wall on Zion. You know, there's games where like I think against Zubac he was great. They lost to Kawhi Leonard buzzer beater. He scored 29.
Against Wemby, he was pretty good.
Against Wemby, he was solid, but even then, Wemby was really able to meet him at the basket where he got 4 blocks on him in a row. So what it comes down to is, man, when you have that rim pressure and you're losing that burst and you haven't really developed your skill, you're not going to look like a first overall pick. You look cool, maybe an all-star, but you're not living up to what the Pelicans need, and that's what it all comes down to. The numbers are pretty. You look at Zion's numbers, they're amazing, right? But you look at the impact, bro, it's not strong enough for you to win games.
Nah, it's not there. It's not there at all. But
like, there's times where he looks disinterested. You know, there's times where it's like, man, Jalen Williams was able to eat his lunch when he was in Oklahoma. So it's like it's
just too one-dimensional. That's all it is.
Way too one-dimensional, bro. Like, the only thing you could say Zion improved on was his passing abilities.
Yeah, him at the point forward role, I didn't expect that, but he's pretty good at it, man. But at the end of the day,
he's great.
It's just too one-dimensional. It's like you all know he's coming downhill. He's gonna try to attempt to lay up or dunk on you no matter what. and he's getting blocked a lot.
Of course he's gonna get blocked a lot, man, because these teams are daring him to shoot jumpers. He's not gonna take them.
Not he's going to. He's already getting blocked a lot.
No, he's already got blocked a lot. I mean, I use Victor Oladipo as an example. Victor Oladipo ate his lunch, 4 blocks in a row.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah, so he's also like in my hot list right now. I'm like, man, Zion, either he needs a new culture or it's over. And I'm kind of in between of that because I don't see a good future for Zion Williamson in New Orleans. New Orleans is done. I think that they have a lot of pressure too because they lost the draft pick. They gave it to Indiana for Derek Queen. And credit to Derek Queen, man, he's hooping.
Mm-hmm. He is hooping,
He's hooping.
but it's just
it's not gonna live up to that draft pick they gave up.
It's just not. It's just not. And then other things to look out for: Nikola Jokic not signing the extension. We all know he's staying in Denver, man, but man, he's trying to line up his pockets fat.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's gonna line up his pockets fat. The Nuggets, man, they're interesting right now. I think right now Cam Johnson's gonna have to figure it out. Aaron Gordon, bro, that 50-point game he had was awesome.
Yeah, it was kind of crazy.
Against the Warriors.
Yo,
that was crazy.
He's really been on fire this season. He's elevating to the level that everyone thought Jamal Murray would elevate to be alongside Jokic.
But to be honest, it's been last season, bro. That playoff run he had was awesome.
Facts. But
imagine
if Jamal Murray levels up. Just imagine we get playoff Murray come April, May.
Nothing stopping them. They're gonna be Oklahoma. I don't think Oklahoma has a chance, bro. It's gonna be hard for them.
Oklahoma's gonna have a chance, man. Oklahoma's gonna what?
I mean, obviously they have a chance.
No,
they're not beating them.
Don't underestimate. No, Oklahoma's still a team to beat, man. Don't underestimate them. The worst mistake was for them to go through what they made last year. That was like the warning to the rest of the league. They got tested by Jokic, and then they got tested in the finals, man. They are ready.
Oh, yeah.
They are not scared of anybody. They shouldn't be scared of anybody.
Bro, I trust Jokic a lot, bro. He's gonna be tough.
Bro, they went up against Jokic in the playoffs. Jokic
gave him a fight.
Balling out. He was balling out, and Denver put OKC in the exact position they wanted them in most of the games. They wanted them to make crunch time plays, make decisions. They had them down by a bunch of points, deep into the fourth quarter, or they had them trying to maintain. Like Denver had a lot of comebacks on them. And they had them in the spot where they were like defending leads at the end of the fourth quarter. And hey, SGA, J-Dub, they said, hey, this ain't last year, man. We ready.
Yeah. Bro, I got to give Oklahoma credit, bro. They're, like, despite a lot of injuries, they've been able to be tough, bro. Like, it's incredible. Like, the Indiana game was tough. The Warriors game was tough. Not the Warriors. What team did they play first game, man? Houston game was tough. The Thunder is a tough-ass team to beat, bro. But I'm just like, I'm banking on a prime Jokic and Aaron Gordon, bro. Those guys, like Aaron Gordon dealt with those injuries, bro. But when healthy,
at the end of the day, they went up against those guys last year, man. It was a 7-game series. That was the most
strategy, bro.
That right there was the most underrated series in the whole playoffs. That people should have talked about a lot more. OKC versus Denver. That shit went 7 games. Denver was doing all kinds of shit on defense. 2-3 zone, 3-2 zone, man. Like, they was doing all kinds of switch-ups on these guys, man. That's why I say, like, people don't realize. I'm telling you, I'm predicting this now. I think Jalen Williams and SGA will probably go down as one of the greatest. They're not going to go down as the greatest duo. I'm not going to go out and say that. But they're going to be alongside some of the greatest duos we've ever seen.
Bro, they're already the best duo of this decade.
Nah, it's too early, man. It's too early still.
Bro, what decade, what duo can you count as the best so far?
Think about it. Wait, hold on.
5 years.
Wait, you're so early on that? Think about the 2010s decade. LeBron and D-Wade dominated. Nobody saw Stephen Curry coming through. Nobody saw that.
Yeah, of course nobody saw that. But I'm talking about within the 5-year window we had, right? The 5-year sample size.
It's too
easily
early.
the best duo to win a championship, bro. Like they're better than
no
Steph and Wiggins.
I can't say that. I can't say that. I can't say that because
the only ones who has a challenge is like Jason Tatum and Jalen.
exactly,
Right now,
exactly. They were way too good that season. They were way too good. They were way.
Yeah.
Yo, they got Luka. They packed Luka up. Yo,
bro, they ain't Luka's done.
Wait, hold on. They packed Luka up in the finals so bad that the Mavericks, the only game that they won, they had to break the record for like offensive efficiency in NBA Finals history. That's how bad the Celtics had them on lock.
Yeah, Celtics, bro. Those duos, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, is an excellent duo, bro. Like, but I'm looking at Oklahoma and the way they construct the roster and everything, bro, and the coaching. I'm like, bro, these two are probably gonna go down. Like, obviously, I'm jumping the gun, but these two are gonna go down as a 2020 best duo.
Nah. You know what? Me, I have Tatum coming back next season. I'm praying and hoping for OKC Celtics finals, and I have it at 50-50 right now, man. I'll be honest with you. I have it at 50-50
for next season.
For next season.
Okay.
I have it at 50-50, man. Like, I don't even know what the Celtics are gonna have. All I know, they got a good coach.
They're gonna get a draft pick.
They got a good GM. Hey, they're gonna make it work. They're gonna make it
They're
work.
Gonna get
and
a
they
draft
got money.
Pick, so
and they got money. They got a new owner. They're gonna make it work.
They're gonna get a lottery pick too, bro.
Nah, I don't think they're gonna get a lottery pick.
Bro, look at they're tanking for one.
I don't think they're taking. They're just playing it out. For them, tanking would be the worst thing for them to do. You don't want that aura because I'm pretty sure coming into next season, it's gonna be a championship year. So you don't want to come in.
They have one of the worst center rotations, bro. Like,
yeah, I feel you on that, but like tanking is. They might as well try, but tanking is the worst shit that they can do to come into just that aura of losing so much, and then you go from that to like, oh yeah, finals now. No, it just don't work like that.
It worked for them in 2007 and then going into 2008.
I don't know, man. But
when they missed the playoffs, they got lucky with they got the KG Ray Allen thing going on. Hey man, they went to the finals the next year.
But hey, I'm not gonna lie, man. The 2020s is setting up to be some really good NBA basketball. Because eventually we all know Luka's gonna be battling in that mix. So the 2020s is probably gonna end with Luka, Jokic battling, SGA battling, and Tatum and Jaylen Brown battling. That's fucking pretty good, man. That's some.
And then you got Wembanyama, Anthony Edwards in the mix. You got a lot of like great players.
Yeah, but things to look out for in the 2025-2026 season. I also have Giannis, MVP season. It's on the way, man. It's on the way.
He's cooking.
He looks good next to Turner. That's a better fit than Dame, and nobody's gonna be talking about that.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie. I watched the game with the Raptors, Giannis and the Raptors. Bro, like, these guys aren't big deal players, the guys he's around, but man, they fit really nice next to him.
Yep, Cole Anthony. Well,
Anthony.
He looks good. He's getting penetration,
Ryan Rollins
kicking out.
Ryan Rollins, Cole Anthony, Gary Trent Jr. These guys are hitting their shots. They know their spots. Giannis is playing more of the point guard. AJ Green.
Yeah.
Like, bro, Bobby Portis off the bench, obviously. They figured it out for most of the part on how to kind of get the most out of Giannis. And it seems like he's having fun because I watched him defend Miles Turner after the whole booing incident in Indiana. So it's pretty clear that, that he fucks with the roster. I don't know how long that'll last, but as of right now, so far in the sample size.
Yo, what are you trying to say about Giannis? He a snake?
No, I'm not saying, bro. You never know with the NBA, bro. Things change fast.
Yeah, okay. I see where you're getting at. Yeah. Okay, true that. Also, what about, speaking of not knowing what's gonna happen, is a trust the process is a trust the process over in Philly, man? Because Embiid, how's he looking, man? Because at first I seen him, he was looking stiff. And then now I see, it's a little bit better, but it just don't look like the same Embiid.
The trust the process got a new logo. And he comes from another country, bro.
Yeah,
he comes from
Bahamas.
West Indies, Bahamas.
Yep.
There's a new face of the process. BJ Edgecombe. That kid looks like a stud.
Yo, he looks like fucking the way he just bounces and finishes at the rim. He looks like D Wade.
Bro, he's awesome. and Maxey too. Maxey's incredible. So we're looking at a new era in Philadelphia. Embiid, bro, I think so far, I think Embiid's good enough to kind of become a third option on the team.
Damn,
Paul George is
that's
kind of an
crazy.
interesting. Bro, he has to with the injury records, bro. You kind
That's
of
not
have
what
to.
they're paying him, though.
Nah,
That's
bro.
not what they're paying him.
What they're paying him is horrible, obviously, for the amount that he could produce. And he had a good game against the Hornets that I watched. But man, Embiid does not look like Embiid, bro. He doesn't have that burst. He has obviously the finesse. He's skilled, so he's not Zion.
Yeah,
But man, he does not look like that MVP that we watched 2 years ago.
Yeah, Embiid doesn't have that he doesn't have that look like I'm gonna carry you into the playoffs in May, June. He looks like, just like, hey, I'm about to break down before All-Star break.
Yeah. So for me, it's like, man, probably like if I'm Philadelphia, bro, I'm building my offense around Tyrese Maxey.
But I'm not gonna lie though. Ooh, Philly just got too many bad contracts. Even Paul George. I was gonna say they lucked out with VJ because he's not gonna really hit their books. But they're lucky because the salary cap is gonna keep going up. But damn.
And McCain isn't in their books. He's not gonna be in their books he's not gonna be up for contract until 2 more years.
Yeah, 2028.
So they dodged a lot of bullets there. And he's gonna be interesting too, how they kind of they're both going to be interesting because they're both out, right? So it's going to be interesting to how they assimilate them into the offense or what they're trying to do. Especially Paul George, because he's played a lot. And now he's going to be, fourth or fifth op? Like, he's going to be, fourth, fifth option, bro.
Honestly, with PG, they should try to slot him for 25 minutes a game. They really should try their best to do that.
I think Paul George doesn't have it in him, bro.
No,
at this point,
he could help them out, but it's got to be on a 25-minute limit.
No, I'm saying for what he's paid, bro, he's just a role player, bro.
Oh yeah, for sure. You seen it last season in crunch time. We kind of went over it. In crunch time situations, he's kind of slow.
Paul can't catch up like that, bro. Paul should just be an off-ball player.
Yeah, but you know what? We're gonna see. What Nick Nurse is their coach.
Yeah, Nick Nurse is their coach.
We're gonna see what he draws up, man. We're gonna see. Jared McCain, I think he's available. He just made his comeback, right?
Yeah,
but
I wonder how he assimilates.
Yeah, but Jared McCain, they got him. I mean, the team is solid. The only thing is that you could tell they don't know what to do next because even Quentin Grimes, no extension. They're just kind of like
he had a crazy game, bro. Grimes had a crazy game against Charlotte.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting, bro, with them. It just, like I said, bro, it's a lot of personalities, a lot of contracts. Quentin Grimes, bro, there's a high chance he's going to walk away and you get nothing. Philly's going to have... Daryl Morey has a lot on his plate.
Yeah, matter of fact, Jared McCain did just come back. He did. He just played his first game against the Bulls, so yeah, he just came back. So
the Bulls are crazy.
Look how much the 76ers lucked out. Tyrese Maxey in the draft. Jared McCain. You know what I'm saying? Oh my God, VJ. Like this is
Nico
crazy.
Harrison is an idiot. He gave them Quentin Grimes for Cody Martin.
Yeah, I just don't think the Mavericks wanted to get caught up in losing Quentin Grimes.
They don't
want to
pay, bro. They don't want to pay.
Wait,
that's
what did they trade Quentin Grimes for?
For one of the Martin twins.
Oh yeah, they were not trying to pay him.
Yeah.
They were not trying to pay him. Yo, I have a quick question for you right here. Death of the convenient max players. What do you think about that guy? Karl Anthony Towns and his extension. He's not going to get no max. Same thing for Zach LaVine. Even Darius Garland. Like, look at Kevin Durant. Even he knew. I don't even think it was just because of his age. He couldn't get a max. It's just that era is done. Like the convenient max. Where he puts up 20 points a game, or he's a max player. You remember that era? The NBA had an era where everybody was like a max player.
Andrew Wiggins.
Yeah, it was like everybody got a max, and it's like that era is done. It's done. There is no CJ McCollum max. There is no Andrew Wiggins max. There is no Karl Anthony Towns max. These guys are not max guys.
Julius Randle didn't get a max, and he's like I said, he's killing it this season.
Man, like If he played in a certain era, he probably would have gotten it.
Bro, if Randall was up for a contract 2 years earlier, bro, he would have gotten it.
Yeah, I would say around. There was a time in NBA where everybody got a max. Like remember when the salary cap was like 20 mil for like a max player? Everybody was getting that. That was like the best scorer on their team.
Oh yeah, DeMar benefited from that with the Chicago Bulls. Yeah.
Kyle Lowry, they were all if you were the best scorer on your team, you got a max. That shit is done. With these
Bro,
new
it wasn't
rules,
even a
that shit is
conversation.
done. Yeah.
I feel like they didn't even have a negotiation, bro. They just walked.
Yep.
They walked into the offices as I hired, bro.
You got it. You hit the number.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's why I called it the fucking convenient max.
Oh, that shit's done, bro.
Yeah, the convenient max, man. Like everybody was a max. Like Joe Johnson, like all these players, man. It was kind of crazy. Josh Smith, yeah, another guy. They gave you the max automatically.
Andre Drummond, all those guys.
I forgot about that. Andre Drummond was a max player. That's crazy.
I think even Reggie Jackson got a max for the Detroit Pistons.
Yo, I'm telling you, as long as you were the top scorer on the team, you got a max. Then they labeled you a star. That shit is over, man. It's over. Like, thank you, God. That era of the NBA is done. Because I was like, man, these guys are not even winning.
Chandler Parsons, after his Houston run, got a crazy payday from
but
Dallas.
But did he get a max, though?
Bro, he got, I don't know, not a max, but he got a crazy pay from the Dallas Mavericks.
But notice the names this year. Guys who normally would get the max. Karl Towns, Zach LaVine, Darius Garland, Kevin Durant. So even Kevin Durant knew, like, oh, I'm not getting no max. Like that shit is done. They're not paying you. They're not paying you $60 million a year, man.
And Towns is a very ideal age, right? Like when we talk about past max players.
Yep.
Karl Anthony Towns is probably like the safer bet than compared to like Andre Drummond, for example, of that time. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And he's not gonna get a max.
Not gonna get max.
Not gonna get that. Nah, because it's like now it's based off of something. The guys that are gonna get the max is the true max guys. The Stephen Currys, the Giannis's, the Luka. If you're not at that level, the SGA. If you're not at that level, you don't even need to ask for the max. You're getting even if you qualify, even if you hit all NBA, you qualify. It's like, like you got to negotiate lower, man. It's like, come on, bro. You're not leading us to no fucking top seed in the conference every year. Like if you're not doing that, you ain't no max, man.
You ain't elevating us to the level we need. You know? What I mean?
It's crazy because even LaMelo Ball coming up, like his next extension, it can't get no max off rip. Same thing for Paolo. Paolo's in the same boat.
Yeah.
They're not gonna get that. They're not gonna get that convenient max.
No.
Say that again.
Like Paolo hasn't led his team past the first round.
Yeah, look at Cam Thomas in a way. I'm not saying he's going after max, but he's going after a certain number because of his points. And it's
bro, he got lowballed for his points. He got lowballed.
Yeah, he did, but like it's like they did lowball him, but they're not even trying to meet him in the middle.
No, fuck no. They told him, bro, hey, good luck next season, bro. This is it for you. And
but you know what? You know what's so crazy? Because I understand the restricted free agency market this offseason wasn't good, but I think even next season when it's good, like he's not gonna get. I don't even know what he's looking for. He's not gonna get like Emmanuel Quickly's number, like 30 to 35 a year.
Emmanuel's a crazy contract. He's not touching Emmanuel Quickly's contract.
No. Emmanuel Quickly was probably the last person to get that deal because even Brandon Ingram and Julius Randle got a lower deal than that. Yeah, they got
Ingram got lowball. Bro, even Giddy's killing it, but you look at it, what, 5-year $100 million, 4-year $100 million? That's a low ball. That's a low, like, for a guy who's currently a franchise player in Chicago, it's very low ball.
Mm-hmm. Facts.
So the NBA is changing, bro. It's a rapid change. I think it's a good thing. Some players were just glorified role players who are able to just eat off of a bad team, bro.
Mm-hmm. They were. Bradley Beal's one.
Bradley Beal. Even Zach LaVine, bro. Zach LaVine's very talented, bro, but like, let's be honest with Zach LaVine. Like, what team can you truly say that he elevated towards, like, holy shit, like, Zach LaVine's really him? Not really, not much. Like, there's times where, like, oh, Zach LaVine has been box office. But, bro, those Chicago teams were actually solid when you look at the grand scheme of things. But he didn't really elevate them anything past a play-in team.
Nope. But again, this is why I said the Orlando Magic should have negotiated Franz and Paolo's deal because they maxed them both.
It forced them to make that Desmond Bain trade too.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And look at MPJ in Denver. Denver got rid of his bloated contract because you can't just max out guys off their rookie deals like that. It ends up hurting you when they're not elevating your team past a certain point. Like MPJ was never even that kind of player. He was like an
intermittent player.
Yeah, but he got maxed out off his rookie deal, just like Franz and Paolo. And I feel like the Magic 2 seasons from now, they're gonna be having the same regret Denver had. They're gonna be having. I don't know on which one, but they're gonna regret maxing out both. I tell you that.
It depends on which one develops the furthest.
I don't even think it even matters because either way, they're both not gonna be at that level at the same time to lift this team up like that. Like one of them might play like a max. The other one is not going to be playing like you should be maxing them out off a rookie deal. They're going to be like, it's going to end up like being like the MPJ deal, Michael Porter Jr. Yeah. Like you're just going to want to get rid of it. Like, oh, we could get, at least like 2 6'8" guys that can do something like play defense, shoot.
ND players.
Yeah, look, they traded MPJ for what's his name, Cam Thomas out in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
And he's not, I can't really say Cam Thomas has better raw talent, but he's more of a role player. MPJ is more of a starter, but he's just had a couple of bad seasons. Like he's not consistent enough. But his ceiling as a starter is way higher.
Yeah, MPJ ceiling as a starter is way higher.
Yeah, it definitely is. But hey, it's this season once again, it's gonna be a lot of interesting shit.
What's it called again? As a new season with the Mavericks, the infamous trade happened. But man, it just like, I think their point guard situation, their point guard situation has been horrendous. It seems like they're forcing Cooper Flag to adopt a role of Luka Doncic, hoping that he fills it in when he's not really a Luka Doncic type of player. He's a player who can find his spots and make that extra pass, and he's an athlete. So he can, finish strong at the rim, be a shooter. It seems like the NBA, or not the NBA, but the Dallas Mavericks are forcing him to be something that he's not.
Luka type player. That is crazy.
Bro, that's what they're doing with him having the ball in his hands. He's not playing towards his full potential, to be honest with you, because that's not his playing style.
That's not his playing style, but he's also a rookie. Like this is his first time kind of like processing everything. To have him just play point guard, I don't know.
It's bad, bro. Because the games where he has D'Angelo Russell next to him, he looks good. Because like D'Angelo Russell's been able to take in the playmaking abilities or the playmaking responsibilities, but it seems like outside of that, they're not doing much outside of that. It seems like they're forcing something that doesn't come natural to Cooper Flag, and they're doing the same with PJ Washington, who's been a career role player. So it's like the Dallas Mavericks doesn't make any sense. And obviously, Anthony Davis and his situation, that's just a clusterfuck of itself that we can talk about too.
It sounds like to me, because J Kidd is way too smart, it sounds like to me they're either trying something or they might be tanking. I know it sounds crazy. They could be prepping the kid for the next season where they have a different plan for him. They just got him used to that. Or they could be tanking already.
Bro, but my thing with the Mavericks is like I was watching the Mavericks, like those local the YouTube channels. Mm-hmm. The guy was talking about how Jason Kidd wanted to walk out from the Mavericks, and allegedly a journalist picked up a conversation he had with his wife where he said, I can't deal with this shit anymore. So I think a lot of the things that the Mavericks this offseason, we're going to find out a lot of kind of the incompetency going on from the ownership, management, and the coaching staff.
When you say management, you mean Nico?
Yeah, Nico Harrison.
There's a lot of inconsistency in the stuff he said. There's a lot.
Because him saying that him and Jason Kidd are in the same picture, I don't see it with Jason Kidd being in the same picture with Nico Harrison.
Yeah, playing a rookie power forward / small forward as a point guard, that don't even sound good. Yo, it's hard enough for rookie point guards to get used to shit. Like look at the one out in Utah. It took him a minute.
Yeah.
Like they kind of like slow wheeled him in. Like, you know, they kind of like gave him a sample size and then let him go from there. They just didn't throw him out there to get eaten.
Point guards, like especially they're the weakest out of all the positions, right? So they're easier to rip and all that stuff. So it takes them a little bit of strength and conditioning. And then you see a point guard thrive. But with Cooper Flag, it just doesn't make any sense to have him that. And it's shown with his numbers because he struggled because of that, man, because of being put out of position. And it seems like the Mavericks, I don't know if they're trying to make it up or what, but it just doesn't make any sense. And the Anthony Davis factor also hurts because Anthony Davis being there, he does not want to play the center position. And that also hurts spacing, which hurts Cooper Flag.
Wow. AD is still on that shit. Even though the Mavericks have enough centers. They got Lively, they got Gafford.
And Lively's game has been affected too. He's not having a good season thus far.
Exactly.
You can see that he's taking a hit with efficiency.
This is why Nico didn't make no sense trading Luka, because Luka helped out everybody. He gave Clay open shots because of all the attention. The pick and roll with Lively was crazy. And that was Lively, and that was Lively's rookie year in 2024. That pick and roll between the two was setting up to be looking crazy. I know the Lakers might low-key try to make that move and get Lively. If Nico was smart, he would continue that relationship with Pelinka and get Lively over there and have Pelinka properly compensate him with a pick, with someone else's pick or a future pick, because Lively is not going to be the same player. He is definitely not going. That Luka trade hurt him.
Bro, it's tanked his value. And you also look at another guy, Klay Thompson. He's coming off the bench now, so he's damn near done at this point.
And he went to Dallas to play with Luka.
Yeah,
he went.
Most importantly, he didn't want to come off the bench.
Yeah, but it's not even that. He went to Dallas to play with Luka because he knew they was gonna be competing for a championship, and now they're not even doing that. I swear to God, that Luka trade made no sense because some of the players that existed on the team, they existed there because of Luka. If Luka was gone, their values would tank. Nothing Nico Harrison said defending the fact that he traded Luka made fucking sense.
And the defense is semi-redeemable, but it's not enough to like win them any games.
Nope.
Man, and you look at it, Anthony Davis, he's dealing with calf injury, similar injury Luka was dealing with. And he came into the season out of shape. He hasn't looked like an all-star. He's a declining veteran. He's 32, 33.
Yo, that era, I'm going to be honest with you. That era in Dallas where we knew that they were going to get some low-key draft picks, they were very competent. That era in Dallas, I think, is over. I think this new owner is more about like the money, the entertainment side. He might not be as experienced with the basketball side. That's going to require him to, he don't even have NBA connections like that off rip to know who to hire.
The Edelson family is not even a basketball family, to be honest with you, bro. They are a political family, bro. Like, at the end of the day.
Facts. And it's possible that we're about to watch the Mavs kind of be known for competing to ending up sort of like in the same rabbit hole as like the Charlotte Hornets. It's possible, man.
It's possible. It's gonna happen, bro. And it sucks for Cooper Flag. I feel bad for him because, man, this is not a situation you want to be forced into, because now you're kind of like, he's not that other guy, but you yourself are trying to find yourself as the youngest player in the NBA, and you're playing out of position. Your other superstar is not available. Even when he is, he has this whole like, oh, I'm not trying to play this position.
Exactly.
I'm trying to
nothing makes sense.
Nothing. And bro, it's like, it's a lot damning. There's no direction. And like I said, with the Edelson.
Wait, my bad. And J Kidd also is having him play out of position at point guard.
And J Kid has his own beef with the management because if the Mavericks reports are true, take it with a grain of salt. But according to them, he has his problems with Nico Harrison and his management.
Yo,
It seems like, bro, nobody's happy in Dallas.
Yo, take away the Dallas logo, and if we describe the same situation, we could easily replace it with like a Pelican logo or Charlotte Hornets logo. Like, this shit is crazy. The Dallas Mavericks literally have transformed in front of our eyes. That shit is wild. Wow.
And bro, like, I think that's what it comes down to is when you sell your team to these, like Mark Cuban, bro. I'm not gonna lie, like, you know, I don't blame Dallas fans for saying fuck you, Mark Cuban, bro, because he got played in his deal. Credit to Jeannie Buss, bro. She's held her deal. Like, her deal seems a lot better than Mark Cuban. He has no control over personnel. He has no control over anything. That's what you promised Mavericks fans.
That's a great point. You brought up Jeannie Buss because everyone's shocked that she really got a deal where she maintains control. What if she saw what happened to Cuban and she realized these people that they're selling the team to are straight money people? And she's like, let me make sure that they don't pimp out this brand to make it, because easily someone rich enough could buy the Lakers and end up making the Lakers like the Clippers. Just make it
100%.
make it nostalgic. Like, oh, remember the Kobe days? They'll make a lot of money doing that, and every year they'll sell you on that nostalgia. Next thing you know, like 10, 20 years go by, the team has never been in the playoffs. Like, these owners will literally, these new rich guys will literally do that to a franchise.
Well,
a
because
historic
for them,
franchise.
For these new owners, it's not much of a priority. Like, you look at the Edelson family, their priority is with the Trump administration and politics. Like, they play a huge role in, you know, the geopolitics of they play a huge role with the current geopolitics, if you're into that, with the Israel and Palestine thing.
I'm in the Middle East. Yep, I know. What's the woman's name? What's her name? She's the real
Marian
one.
Adelson.
Yeah, she's the real one calling the shots. But the NBA made Patrick Dumont be the face because they understand what come with that.
Yeah, obviously, like, you know, it's a very unpopular war, you know, and she supports the unpopular side. So a lot of people, they don't want that directly linked to their brand. But, you know, it's always going to come back to, oh, the Adelson family fucked us and they have no interest in really basketballs to prop up their portfolio and have an impact and, you know, just getting into the entertainment sector and everything. So just like the NBA and how it's kind of constructing now, it seems like, bro, like, as fans and as everything, we're like, oh shit, you know, more money pouring into these organizations. But these billionaires are looking at it as like, fuck, we already spent so much money. Why the fuck should we keep spending money and not make a profit? So now they're forcing, like, oh, you know, Nico Harrison, Patrick Dumont, hey, make this like, you know, let's make sure the stadiums are full, but we also make a profit. But it seems like it's gonna backfire, to be honest with you, because, bro, if there's no, like, if Cooper's not in a position where he could succeed, Anthony Davis is not someone Mavericks fans care about, to be honest, because why should they care about Anthony Davis, bro? He came after you trade a top 5 player and you got a top 20 player. And I don't even know if Anthony Davis is a top 20 player anymore. That's what you got in return. So you're not going to support that. So the Mavericks found themselves in a shit sandwich, in a shit situation as an organization.
Yep. And once again, all that hard work and equity, because Mark Cuban turned that logo around. That was a franchise where they kept on selling the team. That's the history of it. I did a segment on Jim Jackson. That's when I kind of learned more about the Dallas Mavericks before Mark Cuban arrived. Yeah, it was a mess. It was like new ownership every other year. These guys were just trying to carry the team, flip a profit, and then just go. And the NBA really went through a cycle of that with many of these small town, you know, with many of the I would say
small town mid-millionaires.
Yeah, the mid-millionaire teams. Yeah, they went through it with it's only like the Chicago Bulls, the Knicks. They stayed under the Lakers. They stayed under the same management. The Celtics maybe, but like other than that, these other teams, they were being flipped like fucking like a hoe in a hoe house, man. Like, I don't know what the hell was going on. Everybody just get a piece and then they're out. You know what I mean? Like, that shit is crazy.
You look at it, right? Now they're trying to make Mark Aguirre. Like, Mavericks, they're also appealing to nostalgia because they just announced that Mark Aguirre, after 30 years, I don't know what took them long, they're announcing his jersey retirement. So I'm like, okay, the Mavericks are now relying on nostalgia. And I think one thing that I don't know why that did not get highlighted is that the Knicks and Jason Kidd they wanted to make it happen, both parties, but for whatever reason, I don't know if it's Nico Harrison, I don't know if it's the Mavericks ownership.
You know what it is?
Or what.
It's the Mavericks ownership. They understood the optics of how it looked like.
Yeah,
it would have looked
Jason
crazy.
Kidd wanted to go to New York.
Yeah, it would have looked crazy because someone, they probably finally hired Patrick Dumont. Probably finally did his homework and hired an NBA person that kind of advises him. And they're like, hey, he's like, what's the optics if Jason Kidd goes to the Knicks? And then the advisor could be like, your fan base is gonna be looking at you crazy that you lost a really good coach after losing Luka. So they're like, hey, we got to keep him. Like, I'm telling you, these guys are not such NBA people that I'm pretty sure Dumont now has hired someone that will advise him on optics, NBA wise.
And let's be honest, bro. I watched the video of Patrick Dumont going to Mark Aguirre and being like, you know, we're announcing your jersey retirement. You can tell he does not know basketball.
Yeah.
He's not someone who knows basketball. Like, he's someone that's like, oh shit, like, I have money, I have fuck you money, I bought a team. That's it. He has no clue what he's doing. I guarantee that guy does not know who Jason Kidd is.
No. We can't say that. He has no clue what he's doing. I feel like these guys.
I'm saying he does not. Bro, I feel like he does not know the value of Jason Kidd. I don't think he knows how proper NBA teams work, man.
No,
I'm gonna be honest.
But he does know what he's doing because he's not there for NBA. See, the thing is, this is why Mark Cuban, no wonder he stuck around so long. Like, making it himself seem like he, I didn't know about this. And he's making all these appearances and he's talking to everybody, right? He's still making sure his face is out there because I feel like he understood who he sold the team to. He's like, hey, they're going to pick this thing apart like a carcass. They're going to pimp it to get their casino. They're going to just, have it maintain its value because remember, the NBA team's value keep going up and up. So they're going to try to maintain their equity, you know what I'm saying, in the net worth of the team. They're going to leverage it to get a casino and a hotel or do whatever down in Dallas. And then they're going to just kind of treat it as cash flow. Like,
bro, I bet he's
it's
also
a huge
looking at
possibility,
himself too, right?
Wait, hold on.
He's also looking at a big piece for himself too.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, right? They're gonna treat it like a huge cash flow, and I feel like the value of a championship to Mark Cuban was important, but I feel like with them, as long as they get the casino, they feel like they won the NBA title every day. They're not gonna care about the Mavericks like that,
bro.
That's their real NBA title. They don't care about that shit.
With old ownership, they made money with what they've sold on the product, right? Like, Cuban's a billionaire, but he does not have Edelson billions. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Or Edelson billions, they don't care if the Mavericks are good or bad. Cuban relied on the Mavericks being good and competent. That's why he gave Dirk all his promises. He kept Don Nelson around. He always on his feet, whatever have you. Same with the Bus family. Same with, Dolan. All those guys, Dolan's father, all those guys, they had that in them, to always
there was an expectation set before them that when they took over, if they didn't perform, if the Lakers were bad, the Knicks were bad, etc., then it would look bad on them because it's like, hey, our expectations were success, championships, and you didn't do shit, so it looks bad. But like now, I'm telling you, the Mavericks. The owners are now just people who are going to pick apart this carcass, man, and just kind of wave the Mavs as like a medallion for their casino. Like, like Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, how they gave out the golden coins or whatever it was, the golden ticket to get into the factory. That's the Edelson family. They're holding up the Mavs like a golden ticket just for their casino. Other than that, to them, that's winning the NBA championship every single year.
It's unfortunately fucking over the consumers because you look at it, they're charging the tickets obviously expensive, and you're just not getting a good product on the court, bro. Like when you find out your coach is trying to go to the New York Knicks, as a Mavericks fans, why the fuck should I attend the game if my coach doesn't even believe in the fucking team?
I'm telling you, Mark Cuban, he already knows who he sold the team to. They're gonna pick this shit apart. Look at Steve Ballmer. He is a savage businessman. Look how he's coming to the NBA with all these other billionaire owners and says, fuck your rules. I'm going to go out and get the best player. You guys been in this league for 30 plus years, some of you, and you never gotten the best player in free agency. I'm gonna do it in my first few seasons. I'm gonna buy the land. I'm gonna build the stadium. I'm gonna buy the rival stadium. I'm gonna do almost a $500 million cap circumvention to get Kawhi Leonard. Look at all the shit he did within his first like 7 to 10 years.
Even his presentation, bro. You remember the Blake Griffin presentation he gave in I like to say 2017? Bro, we never seen a presentation like that ever.
Nope.
Like he was able to become like, oh shit, like this is what technocrat money fucking does to you. All those fucking Mark Cuban, those Jerry Buss, them selling you the idea of culture and team, fuck that shit. I can get you more than that. I can get you this. I can get you the materialistic things, whatever company you want to be a part of, et cetera, et cetera. And that's like that, unfortunately, as good as the owner Ballmer is, it opened up to a lot more billionaires being like, shit, fuck it, we could have this to our portfolio.
Exactly.
It's not gonna make much
That's all
sense.
it is. That's all it is.
Like the Adelstons won't lose sleep if people don't think the Mavericks are good. They're not losing sleep. All they care about is people buying the tickets and eventually like the casinos, right? And the restaurants. It's like, all right,
the
bro.
casinos is the main thing. It's the main
Well,
fucking
casinos
thing.
and restaurants kind of go hand in hand, right? Because every casino has a restaurant and people dine in and all that stuff. You know what I mean?
Man, if the Edelsons could say it out loud, they'd be like, oh, we purchased the casino. I mean, the Mavericks. To them, that's all it was. It was a means to an end.
Bro, it's unfortunate where the NBA has gone, you know, like the idea of new ownerships, bro. And like I said, bro, I think you and I discussed like Jeannie Buss, she'll be forced out. But man, her deal looks a lot better than Mark Cuban. I don't know how long she'll be on the Lakers. Right now, she looks good with this whole Austin Reeves and Luka and DeAndre Ayton and those guys eating. But man,
But you know what it is with her? I feel like she made a deal. I think the new ownership will do the Lakers right. They're gonna continue to compete and win. But I feel like with her, what she did is that she also because she made money out of the deal. But remember the Lakers were like a mom and pop kind of business. So what she did, I believe, is that she made sure she had enough power to kind of give everybody one last hurrah contract. You know what I mean? She extended Rob Pelinka. Like all the family is still in the building. Like she sold the building, but all the family still lived there. So she gave him like one last free check. Okay, I'm gonna extend you. You can still work here until Rob leaves, or they decide to get rid of everyone. But at least I'm in control where you're gonna get paid the next 2 to 3 years. I feel like that's what she did.
And bro, the thing with the Lakers ownership, bro, like Jeannie's been there since she was 18. A 40-year history, damn near, like, bro, the peak of the NBA. Jeannie Buss gets a lot of credit for that, along with her father and Magic and Larry, whatever. You know, so like she herself is a novelty within the NBA. And she has a good history of having a good rapport with players overall, like throughout her 40-year run. You look at it with Shaq, obviously Kobe in the 2000s. You look at LeBron in free agency, Magic and Kareem. We don't really got to talk all that much about. You know, it's self-explanatory. So she has a good rapport where it's just best to keep her around and, you know, just have her, like, it's better than having like Patrick Dumas, who has no clue about NBA, like, kind of players and coaching or none of that stuff.
Yeah, especially with her, like, I'm telling you, man, at the end of the day, that Dumas family, they're there for the casino. They're savage. When it comes to business, they're savages, man. Like, just like Steve Ballmer. He's a savage. It's almost a $500 million scheme, right? Just to do cap circumvention for one player. Can you imagine? Who knows? Maybe Paul George has a whole separate deal. But when they collect all the money, when they see how much money he spent on this aspiration deal, it's well over $500 million.
Oh, 100%. Bro,
that's just to pay Kawhi 125 or 165. You know what I'm saying? The deal could have ended. No, matter of fact, the deal was really for $200 million because he had stock options and he had an ability to cash it out no matter if the stock went up or down. So the deal was for roughly like $200 million. But Steve Ballmer spent $500 million to make the $200 million go to Kawhi. Like he spent an additional $500 million. When they really step back and people kind of break down this cap circumvention, that's what they're gonna find out.
Hey, Uncle
That's
Dennis
crazy,
is a
right?
genius. He is good for Kawhi, bro. Uncle Dennis is a genius, man.
That's almost the price of an NBA franchise. Like That's like
Yeah.
a quarter of a price of it. Just to pay,
100%,
just
bro.
to have one of the best players in the league on your team. That's a different level of money. That's a
Yeah, bro.
different
Like,
level of money, man. Like that's kind of scary. But the Adelsons, they're on that. They're on that. They're not on that level, but they're in the middle of the road of that level. You know what I mean?
bro, not only they're dangerous with finance, but the most dangerous part is their political connection, bro. You look at it, right? That's dangerous, bro, because we never seen ownership like that either.
I never seen so many politicians kissing that woman's ring, as if she
Yeah,
was
like
a queen.
kissing her ring. Bro, I remember like, I never put two and two together, bro. I remember reading the Adelson name, and then I remember Trump making the speech, and he's crediting her and all that stuff, and you find out like, holy shit, like this chick is like deep connected too.
Yeah, she's
and that's
connected.
Yeah, and that's where I think in the future we're gonna like eventually it's gonna come out, bro. And I think we're gonna see not only the Mavericks incompetency, we're gonna see a lot of the political dynamics of the NBA and kind of the moral fabric of the NBA, which has been questioned for a long time, but it's really gonna be questioned with the Adelsons, you know?
But I mean, at the end of the day, right? The owners approve a sale. They approve the people that come in. It's not just approving the sale. They approve the kind of person who's going to represent the league.
I think it's a whole organization, as a union.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, the fact that they approve Mark Cuban's sale, I just think they're more aligned than we think. Man, because that sale got approved. And it's just more in line than we think. Like, I don't know what deal they really made, but they definitely made sure that the woman, what's her name?
Marian Adelson.
They made sure that she was not involved. Like, her name is not on anything of the Mavericks. They made sure of that.
Bro, they like now when we think about ownership, we think about Patrick Dumas, because Dumas more in the cameras.
Mm-hmm. But you wonder, because there's like a resource aspect into owning an NBA team. Maybe she bought the NBA her political resources to get into certain markets. Because look at the jump, right? As soon as she came on board, now they're making connections in Europe for a whole league with teams that already have connections and a huge history within those major cities. The NBA, that's pretty ballsy. But hey, they got the Europeans kind of on their side about it. And I'm just like, whoa, this is like a different, we're seeing them like have cross international like power. Like the Europeans kind of approaching the NBA like, hey guys, come in, help us commercialize ourselves. Like I've seen the press conference with the one of the FIBA officials, and he was sort of kind of praising Adam Silver from almost that type of position. Like, thank you, Mr. Silver. Can you show us how to make money with this? It was like that. It was that kind of vibe.
Bro, you look at FIBA, and dude, look at the Emirates Cup. Like, you got Middle East money also pouring into the NBA.
Yep. They're spreading their tentacles like FIFA. They're spreading their tentacles like FIFA. Yo, the NFL is like
boxing.
Yeah, the NFL is kind of stuck in America. Like, that's really where they're gonna make their money. But the NBA, what?
Bro, even the Saudis, they paid Tom Brady for the flag football games.
Yeah, but like, is there a country really gonna embrace football like that? Like, I feel like most countries are gonna embrace basketball. Oh, crazy.
Basketball's simple, right? So it's a lot easier to embrace, and it's fast paced. It's not hard to get a bucket, so it's like it's more easier to embrace.
You know what? I'm wondering what's the political or just what's the history of how soccer became a global game. Was it by like, default, or was it like, was there a marketing aspect to it? Because we could be watching how the NBA kind of marketed themselves in a way where they understand you just need a hoop and a ball, and they kind of use like the soccer blueprint. Like, I don't know how soccer became a global game, because there's no other sport in the world that translate like soccer.
But soccer kind of came with like a European imperialism. You know what I mean?
No,
like
I understand about, but I'm saying, what's the marketing side of how that became a worldwide universal language. Like there has to be a marketing side to it.
It's simplistic.
It's simple. No, but I'm saying like somebody there's a campaign, just like how we see Coca-Cola ads. There was a campaign around the world for this to be like the global language and sport that it is. It's just I know there's a human element to it, because it can't be a coincidence that it's just such an understood universal sport. No matter, you could be in the corners of India, you could be in the corners of Brazil. It's just, there's a language. Like, I don't know if you play soccer before, but I used to play all the time. And no matter, especially in New York, when you see people from all types of nationalities, man, if you kick the ball, there's like a certain look. There's a certain energy. Both people resonate. Even like when you're juggling the ball, you're messing around, you're like, hey, there's like a universal language. No matter if I was in India, then I went to Hong Kong, no matter where I'm at around the world, a small village, there's like a universal language with soccer. I can't explain it. Once you start kicking the ball around, there's like a language. Everyone's like, hey, there's like certain movements, certain human energies. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but I know there has to be a human element to making it, like making the world accept it that way. And I'm telling you, the NBA, I feel like they're beginning to, they just need like that one universal player that makes NBA basketball super fun. Like it's on a higher tier. It's almost like Maradona. You just said Maradona, right?
No, I didn't say that. I said it's gonna be Wembanyama.
Yeah, but there's like like, have you ever heard of Maradona? In Argentina, there's an Argentinian soccer player from way back when. He I believe it was the 1980s, way back when, right? And then like it's like the way he plays soccer, it was fun. Pele, you heard Pele, right?
Of course, bro, the legend.
Yeah, Pele plays soccer with a certain flair that around the world, no matter where you are, they know the flair. It's like a language. The NBA needs an international player that's gonna play with a certain level of joy, that it's gonna translate no matter where you are in the world. If you pick up a basketball and you pass it to someone, there's like a certain thing, there's a certain energy. You're like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's like that for soccer, man. I'm telling you, I can go to India tomorrow, then I could go to Brazil, then I go to Argentina, Uruguay, Canada, anywhere in America. Like people that play, I can go right now down here and play soccer with a bunch of people from Mexico. Once I start kicking the ball and dribbling a certain way and kicking it back to them, there's like a certain language like we all understand. I don't know how to explain it, but it's like that for soccer. I feel like the NBA is trying to find that kinetic energy. Like there's gonna be one player one day, he's gonna be like the Pele of the NBA. I don't know if that makes sense, but
you can say that's Mike.
No, it's Mike in a way. It's Mike in a way, but Mike was one of one, right?
I think
like
yeah, Mike, and I'll say Mike and Kobe for China.
Mike and Kobe for China, but what I'm saying is like it's beyond just a player. There's like a kinetic energy,
like a whole team or a whole like shit. Like I guess like the Lakers, like how Chelsea's so big, or Manchester, like kind of that dynamic.
It's not, forget the entity. It's not about the entity. It's about the game will give off a language. Like soccer is still I think out of any sport around the world, soccer, the reason why it's a universal sport, there's a language that's spoken by anyone that's just kicking the ball and just played before. No matter where you at in the world, you could be in the slums of a country in the eastern side of the world, then you go to a slums on the west. It's the same language, even though no one met each other. There's like an energy, and it's like at the end of the day, the NBA. I'm telling you, the NBA, and it happens organically. You can't market this. They're gonna have a player one day, because Michael Jordan is gonna be long and forgotten, but the player is gonna give off an energy, even when that player is long gone and dies off. That around the world, when people pick up a basketball and they start dribbling, they start shooting, they start dribbling a certain way, it's gonna give off a certain energy. I don't know how to explain it, but it's to a degree. Michael Jordan kind of Kobe in them with the crossover. Certain people with the crossover, it gives off like an energy.
Like the reason why I'll say like Kobe, because I think China market really grew with Kobe Bryant as like the face of the league.
No, but don't think of the energy as a one country thing. it's a universe. It's a worldwide thing.
That's gonna be a long time, bro. Because I think with soccer, right? Like, okay, most of the he comes from Egypt or Neymar from Brazil. It becomes a universal. Like every country, you'll find a stud.
No. But peep this, right? A kid could be born like 5 years ago, right? And if I go to Brazil and he starts juggling the ball, he passes it to me and I juggle it and I give it off to him, even he understands the language. Like, I'm telling you, there's an energy that's transferred, and it's only through soccer that it does that. It's a weird human thing, but there's something that's, I don't know. It's just the sport gives off a language. The sport taps a frequency that does not exist in any other thing in the world. I don't think any other thing translates like that in the world, where no matter who you are, you could be born 5 years ago, 10 years ago, or a person could be born 80 years ago. There's a certain thing you do with the ball, a certain vibe the sport gives off when you just meet someone. Maybe they kick it in the field, then you do a little juggle, you kick it back, and then they juggle it back, they kick it to you. There's like a language being exchanged. Like, I don't know how to, there's like an energy being exchanged, and no other sport gives that off. No other thing on the planet gives that off.
No.
It's weird. It's hard to explain. It's weird, but that's why soccer is so fucking big. And it's not a player, it's not a place, it's not a thing. It's just an energy.
It's a sport. It's a sport overall, bro.
No, it's like a human energy. I don't know how to explain it. It's just a human energy. I'm pretty sure you never seen, like, you don't have like family members that play, and then let's say they go to the park, they see other people, they don't even know them, but if they do a certain move, a certain juggle, and give them the ball, like they do the same thing, there's like a vibe, man. Like, I don't know how to explain it. There's something exchanged, like a universal, like, human connection. It's kind of crazy, but anyone listening that plays soccer, they understand what I mean.
Yeah, I'm not really familiar with soccer like that, to be honest, bro.
Yeah, bro. I'm telling you, man. Yo, I'm telling you. If I wish you understood it, because you could be like, because I play with all kinds of people in New York, right? Some people, sometimes, like, I'll be in the park, it be some Spanish dudes, they don't even speak English, man. And then just like we dribble, juggle, we all just vibing with the ball, because like it's a universal language. I don't even have to speak their language. Like it's a like, then you have like even Africans. I played with Africans before. Like, I forgot, I played with a couple people from Ghana. Yeah, man, they had cracking their jokes, like we all juggling. Like there's like a universal thing with the sport, with the ball, with the sport overall. It just gives off like a human. There's like a human. I don't know. It's like a human spirit, man, to the sport. It's just different. It's just different. But again, I feel like the NBA, that's why Adam Silver keeps making reference to that sport, because I'm pretty sure he might, because he seems familiar with it, so he probably knows the same energy I'm making reference to. But only soccer has that, and it's really, you can't buy it. You could spend $1 zillion, you can't buy that energy. It's like, look at Pele, he's long gone, and Pele's only player, him and Maradona, where they played with the energy on the field, and everyone understood. No matter where you were at in the world, you understood the energy. There was a certain human joy and element. There was like, it was something, like everyone understands the language. It's weird. It's weird. Even what's his name? Messi kind of plays with the same joy too. Like, you can see it, but it's like an energy. It's hard. Not too many sports. That's why a soccer match could be 0-0, and people are going crazy.
Yeah, I mean, dude, like I said, I'm not really familiar with the soccer lore, but like I've seen a couple of my coworkers. They used to watch it before work. It gets people going riled up, you know. Soccer does have that universal language,
bro. People
like,
go, but the energy happens on certain passes. Can you imagine the NBA certain passes? People are like, ooh and wow, and like the way he like trapped the ball, like people like, ooh, like there's a certain, like, I don't know how to explain. Like, no other sport is like that. It's a human. It's like a human. And it's like a spiritual thing, man. Like, it's weird because no other sport has that kind of energy, unless you score. Like, you score a crazy dunk or something like
A
that.
layup,
Like
yeah.
soccer is like one where people just understand it. You'd be like, yo, score it. Anyone who don't understand it, they'd be like, oh, it's 0-0. Like, what the fuck? Nothing happened. But it's like, once you play, you be understanding, like, oh shit. It's like it's weird. It's weird. But shout out to the NBA. They're trying to tap into it, but they're gonna need a player, man, because this happens organically. They're gonna get a player that's gonna completely. It's almost gonna be like a domino, like hitting a dominoes, man. Everything's gonna fall in place.
What's your opinion on kind of the overreaction of analysts and podcasters and such that tend to overreact about kind of the European invasion of the NBA? Because we're looking at it, we haven't had a homegrown MVP since James Harden.
It's just where the world is going.
Because
but I wouldn't say it's an over invasion of European players because it's really not.
That's
It's still
how they're
mostly
presenting it
American.
as.
It's still mostly American All Stars.
I agree, bro, but that's how they're presenting it as, like, you know what I mean, like the Kendrick Perkins, and they made that argument, well, like, oh, dude, the NBA needs an American face, yada yada.
The only thing I would say, the American Perk got to look at the American amateur circuit. What's going on? Like guys have all the raw talent, but they're not. They're being shown the game a lot different. But it's just the era. This could be just an era right now. And then all of a sudden, the next era is a bunch of American kids.
Or we never know. Anthony Edwards makes that crazy ass jump where he's the best player in the world. Or,
True.
Who knows,
That could happen. But also, right now, the American audience is being conditioned to accepting international stars. It's a conditioning that's going on right now. See, within the next 3 years, with us seeing Luka, let's say Luka wins a championship and he's constantly making the playoffs, and everyone's like, oh, who's gonna be Luka this year? See, after that whole era is over, we won't even realize we went through a conditioning where we were cheering for an international guy the whole time. By the time by the time Wemby comes up, let's say he comes up after, it's gonna be normal that the best player could be from France. He could be from. It's just like soccer. He could be from here. He could be from there.
Yeah.
And then it's a couple American dudes. But eventually, after a while, there's gonna be an era of people that don't even see it that way. They're just gonna be like, oh yeah, this is such and such. It's gonna be like Cristiano Ronaldo or Messi. No one goes like the Argentinian Messi. They just go Messi, or they go Cristiano Ronaldo. They don't go the guy from Portugal. They don't say that.
Yeah, bro, it's a good thing overall. Like just last year, bro, look at it like this, bro. Just last year, two of the top like picks of the NBA draft are Frenchmen, Alexander Sarr and Zachary Ricochet. So we're seeing a drastic change towards a European style. And I don't really expect, like, obviously the Kendrick Perkins have more of an American pride, American whatever mindset.
No, Americans still dominate the NBA completely.
Oh no, I'm saying I agree with that. They still dominate, but like I'm looking at it as like the kids going through middle school and high school. They're not gonna look at it as an American versus outsider perspective.
Yeah, they're just gonna look at it like just talent.
Yeah,
just
pure
talent.
hoops. Like the Perkins era, that era, all that stuff. It's like, oh, this is how the NBA is as an American sport, as an American league.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna see a change in that, and I think a lot of upcoming kids' mindset when Harden won the MVP. So I still have that little bit of American kind of like American league, American player mindset because I was coming out of that. But I see younger kids now; they're not repping that American player. They find Luka cool. They find Shea cool. They find Victor Wembanyama cool.
Exactly. It's just a player now, and again, they think the same way. Like they find Messi cool or Cristiano Ronaldo cool. They don't go, that's Messi from Argentina. They don't even think that way. They just think, yo, that's Messi. That's the best player in the world. You know what I mean? That's all they think about. It's gonna be the same thing for the NBA. It's a gradual shift. I'm telling you, Luka being on the Lakers is going to cement the NBA audience being used to an international guy repping the biggest brand in the league. They're going to be used to that.
No, 100%, bro.
Like even right now, everyone knows the best player is Jokic. Nobody's really gonna argue you down on that. They're like, who's the best player right now? Jokic.
Like you ask anyone who's a top 3 player of the world, like player in the world, it's all non-Americans. Like you know what I mean?
And nobody really argues. Nobody's gonna sit there and be like, "No, it's da da da." No one's gonna argue.
It's Anthony Edwards.
Yeah,
it's LaMelo Ball. Like
yeah,
they're not gonna argue that.
But a decade ago, what? Just a decade ago, people would have argued you down. Like, oh, why you put him in there? Like, oh, I don't know about him. Like,
remember the whole idea of Europeans are soft. They're never gonna be franchise faces. That was all conversation we had, and that wasn't crazy long ago, bro.
Bro, I gotta find that clip. One day I'm gonna put it up. It was like a really old. I don't know when Sabonis' father, Sabonis from the Sacramento Kings, when his father got drafted with the very last pick, there was an old lady. She looked at that dude when they said he came from Russia. She looked at him with a pure disgust. Like, oh my God.
We're talking 1990, so this was not 1990. This was like 1989, I like to say.
Yeah, it's probably late 80s. Oh my God.
Late 80s.
She looked at him
Bro, this is
with
like
disgust.
Soviet versus America, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, because at the time the NBA was considered an American sport.
Yeah.
If you came from a different country, you probably was a bum. But
bro, I mean,
but look from that time, right? Remember, Michael Jordan was already in the league until now. Like, that's a drastic change.
I mean, forget Arvydas Sabonis. 2015, 10 years ago, Kristaps Porzingis.
Oh, remember, exactly. That's the same energy. The energy Kristaps got when he got drafted is the same energy the lady gave Sabonis' pops in the late 80s or whenever that was.
Yeah.
It's the same disgust. Like, what? You got from where? Like, all that bullshit.
Latvia, was that Tingus Pingus? The kid crying is like, now you don't think that, we don't care. And bro, I saw Phoenix Suns fans celebrating on Twitter about drafting a player from South Sudan. I thought to myself, man, just a decade ago, everyone slandered Porzingis from being from Latvia. And, he's not. Where's Jahlil Okafor? He's not made for the NBA.
That right there is part of the transition. The transition will happen. The Luka to the Lakers is the nail in the coffin, man. They might as well just slam that shit and just bury it, bro. It's over. Like the American audience now is going to be fully ingratiated with accepting international stars leading NBA teams. Like, it's not going to be every single team, but we're not going to think of them as an international player. You're just going to start thinking them as a player.
Yeah,
that's it.
100%. It benefits small market teams. Their main whole like kind of complaints is that they're not able to keep American players throughout its history, right? The American players, they want to go to big markets. A European player, bro, they kind of embrace whatever market they're at as long as they compete. Like, bro, let's be honest. Like, I think a lot of American journalists, like Sham Sharana and as such, they kind of project American players onto like Giannis, with he wants to go to New York. Like, I don't doubt Giannis wants to go to New York, but I think they project a little bit of how much Giannis really wants to go to New York.
Yeah, because the media at the end of the day, they're not gonna want a league with parity. It doesn't help them.
Yeah,
it helps them when the league is the LA, the Bostons, the
Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, it helps them. Like, that's what the numbers used to tell them, right? Because remember, they don't even talk. OKC won the championship. They don't even talk about them like that.
No.
Tim Legler got on and he said how he was begging ESPN to talk about the Pacers years ago when they were killing, and ESPN told him no.
Yeah, of course, bro. Because like at the end of the day, with the NBA, bro, like the Knicks is always going to be the Knicks. So the NBA kind of has a mindset of kind of projecting on the foreign players, like, yo, they really want to go here, the yada yada yada. But with Luka, for whatever reason, I don't know if they failed to hide it or what, but they failed to run that narrative because Luka really wanted to stay in Dallas.
Oh yeah, he definitely did.
Yeah,
he definitely did. Once again, man, this is a new era we're entering. The fans are going to be conditioned a different way to accepting international stars. And also, we're about to watch a couple of franchises that were well run. They had good winning pedigree. Like the Dallas Mavericks, we're about to watch them become the new Southwest Pelicans. I'm dead ass.
I mean,
Like,
dude, they're gonna be
I'm
a joke.
serious.
No, I think that with the Mavericks, like with how everything is going, like, bro, the fact local media, like I said, you have to take it with the grain of salt. But the fact, like the idea they overheard a conversation with Jason Kidd and his wife, that just shows, bro, this is incompetency max.
Mm-hmm. Bro, I'm sad, man, for Dallas. Bro, I had huge expectations for Luka coming off that finals. I was like, oh my god, we was about to get some good basketball. They killed it.
Thompson signed, Quentin Grimes signed.
They
You're like,
killed
man,
it.
the Mavericks.
They killed it over fucking Casino.
Casino,
crazy.
bro. And like the videos coming out of Anthony Davis and Nico Harrison laughing. I'm like, all right, bro, that's expected. They're both from the Nike camp or whatever. But it's like, man, it burns to see that.
Yeah, that guy's. Yo, it's crazy. That guy's gonna go down. See, the thing is, Patrick Dumont did not know. He knows, like, now he knows he fucked up because he's like, damn, they're gonna talk about this the whole time. Like in this new thing that I've entered in called the NBA, they're gonna be talking about I made the worst move in its whole history. You know what I'm saying? Like,
because, bro, any other, like, sports business is different from any other business. Sports business, you automatically get the feedback. You know what I mean? It's not very hard to get feedback.
Yep. You automatically get the feedback,
so and looking at it like, oh.
Wait, my bad. Yeah, you automatically get the feedback, and you also have to collaborate with the other owners because you're kind of working together. But at the same time you're competition, but you're working together. It's a weird relationship.
Also, like, you know, what they're selling is humans. You know, it's not like Costco or Kirkland. If Kirkland shut down, we're like, oh, gives a shit, we'll buy Nestle. Like, you know, NBA players are humans, so people buy into like, oh, a 17-year-old kid gets drafted to the Mavericks. You know, we see him through the highs and lows. Now he wins his. Now he takes us to the finals, bro. That's an emotional sell. You sold to people.
Yep.
And you know, trading that away, he's seeing the impact of that, bro. You know, I think that's one thing forgotten about the NBA business, bro. We buy into like cats when they're 18, 19 years old, and we watch them for decades and decades and decades, you know, like a decade or so. And it's like you get attached to these personalities.
But now, you know, even if fans try to buy in, hopefully the robotic corporate side, because they're really buying into, I don't know, slightly kind of hedge fund ran franchises. Like, does that even sound right? You know what I mean?
Bro, I don't like hedge funds. I think the analytics hedge fund, bro, I think it takes away the simplicity of the game. And it takes away a lot of the enjoyment and the uniqueness of the game.
Yeah, it takes away a lot of the soul.
Like, that's my main criticism of the 2010s, like the late portion of it, with Maury Ball and the analytics. It took away a lot of soul and originality. And you see the NBA kind of deal with that right now because a lot of players play the similar way, similar fashion, because they're like, oh, don't take this many mid-ranges, don't do this, don't do that. And you see players are not that creative in getting their shots off. I feel like Shea has done a good job in changing that, but in the 2010s, you saw like a huge difference, you know?
Facts. I feel like Wemby's gonna change all that because what analytics is gonna point to? Oh yeah, he's gonna do that. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Just
like, like, how are you gonna tell a 7'5" guy that shooting over someone in a mid range is bad a shot, but shoot a gajillion threes? It's gonna be like, all right, but you can't do anything about that. And I think it was Jeff Teague's podcast. He talked about it, how one time he made a mid-range jumper. He walks in the locker room in the halftime, and just like the front office is blowing shit. Oh, we're gonna trade this motherfucker. He doesn't take seriously. Yada. The coach comes into him. He's like, "Yo, Teague, you gotta buy in." So it just like the NBA, they're gonna face a long-term repercussions about this analytics ball they brought into the basketball.
But you know how you can also tell the analytics is bullshit? Is because analytics really depends on the generation of players coming in. Let's say the next generation doesn't have three-point shooters, but they have guys that play crazy defense, and let's say they're good at driving. then your analytics it's gonna change according to that. The analytics is really based off of the generation coming in.
It's based off a reaction too. You look at it, the Warriors were a team that could really finish around the basket and shoot threes. So what do the Rockets say? Oh shit, yeah, we can do the same thing. Clint Capella and Harding, Eric Gordon, Ryan Anderson, PJ Tucker. We got it done. Trevor Ariza. And then at the end, what happened? They missed a gajillion threes in the Western Conference. So analytics changes. Analytics is a bullshit statistic. And you look at the people winning the finals, bro. Kawhi Leonard won that 2019 finals by
all
shooting
mid-range. All mid-range.
Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. Jokic. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander.
Yep.
Giannis. Like, you're watching these guys, bro. They're not shooting you a lot of threes.
Now, let me ask you this, because have you seen Chauncey Billups? He's kind of fighting against the analytics because even though he got locked up or whatever for the gambling incident, the Portland Trailblazers, they've been pressing. They've been disrupting that type of spaced out offense by just pressing in the half court off rip. Like they've been disrupting the offenses. So it's like, what are your analytics gonna say now when there's pressure for you to just bring the ball up?
Yeah. Oh yeah. And you saw a lot of coaches that came in, right? Like before Chris Finch, it was the son of the coach. Man, I'm forgetting his name. I'll probably Glenn Taylor's son. He took over the coaching staff for the Timberwolves. You had a lot of kind of analytics-minded coach. Where are they now? They're gone.
Oh yeah, they're all gone.
Like Memphis hired Memphis hired JB Bickerstaff to be the analytics guy. They fired him. The Phoenix Suns hired the European coach for a year before they got in Monty Williams. So a lot of these analytics guys, at the end of the day, bro, they kind of fall flat. Because, bro, you can never fully, like, what the Warriors are able to achieve, right? You can never copy that again. And I feel like the 2010s, especially the later parts, they tried copying that, and it just felt cheap.
The Hawks. The Hawks. That GM that came from Golden State. He tried to copy it, and he ended up leaving in 2023.
Because DeAndre Hunter has had a good career, but he didn't pan out to be Klay Thompson. Cam Reddish is not even in the league anymore.
Yeah, it's just chasing that. It's a copycat league. It is what it is, a copycat league. But at the end of the day, the analytics could really only be based off of the players coming in and their skill sets.
Yeah, 100%, bro. Like, that's why I always say, bro, the 2000s. Like, I'm not trying to sound like an old head, but you look at, like, I didn't grow up in the 2000s or anything, but you look at the 2000s like game style, right? Like Kobe, Wade, Pierce, they had a uniqueness to their game. I felt like the game was a lot slower and you could say a lot more sloppier, but there was more of a uniqueness that kind of helped the game expand. Where I feel like the 2010s kind of regressed that a little bit.
Yeah, it became very robotic, very copy and paste.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it is what it is. Did you want to do the last subject with the?
Yeah, of course, bro.
So this is one I've been looking at for a minute, man. The dream matchups in their primes. I just wanted to ask you a few of them, man. Like, what do you think? Like, who would win? We got like Hakeem, 1994 Hakeem versus prime Wemby. Man, we haven't really seen Wemby in his prime, but I would say Wemby today.
Hakeem smoking him, bro.
Yeah, he was smoking, but damn, all right. So that's like a future matchup then.
Yeah, that's a future matchup.
Yeah,
but man, Hakeem Olajuwon, bro, like Hakeem Olajuwon, like for what he means to the city of Houston, I can't betray him, bro.
Yeah, but can you imagine like when prime Wemby versus 1994 Hakeem is crazy.
Bro,
that's a crazy finals.
Hakeem and Wemby trained this offseason, bro. My God, bro.
Yeah, that's Wemby. Wemby already got the footwork too.
Yeah,
he learned the moves. He could learn the dance moves. That's crazy. Now the next one is interesting. Prime Larry Bird versus I would say versus 2011 LeBron James in the Eastern Conference Finals. Remember against the Celtics, that version of LeBron when he was in the Miami Heat?
Was crazy.
Yeah, that version versus prime Larry Bird. That's crazy.
Bro, but Larry was crazy though.
Yeah. That would be a crazy matchup. That would be fucking wild. Or
Man, since are we going 2011? If it's 2016, I'd go with LeBron. But if it's 2011, I'm going with Larry.
You going with Larry? No, wait, with 2000.
Yeah,
wait, which version of Larry Bird?
Which version are we talking about?
I just put down prime Larry Bird, the prime years. I would say early mid 80s.
Yeah, I put Larry. Before like the crazy back injuries, I put Larry.
Yeah.
But if we're talking like 2016, LeBron all the way.
What about this duo? 1992-93 Jordan Pippen versus 2018 or 2017 Durant and Curry.
Durant and Curry.
Wow, I wonder under which rules though.
If it's hand checking, probably Jordan and Pippen, but if it's modern, Kevin Durant and Steph. Because I think Jordan and Pippen would have to play really aggressive on Steph Curry.
But they did. 92-93, that's when Jordan had like 100 steals, 100 blocks.
Yeah, but they played a lot of head checking, right? I think now, like if we're looking at it since 2010s, the defense has been relegated. So Steph Curry and Kevin Durant have really been able to thrive, but not a much more.
But I think Jordan Pippen. Cause remember, Durant physicality bothers him. You don't have to hand check, but just a little.
Yeah.
I don't know. Durant handling Jordan and Pippen 92-93 version, Jordan and Pippen, like they were strong as fuck.
Yeah, they were his beasts, bro. But I don't know, like Durant, like with this current generation, bro, like he still has his finesse.
He has his finesse,
90s,
but
bro,
it ain't. I don't know if it would work against. I don't know if I think Jordan Pippen would beat them in the 2017 or 18 era because Curry at that time, strength or just people that physicality still bothered him, and Durant never built his body up. But Durant was killing, but Durant would still have. You can get physical with him. No one's saying hand check, but just having physicality, like the way Jordan and Pippen did, like that was crazy, bro. Like I don't know.
It's a tough battle, bro. But I might just, depending on the rules, bro. I don't know. You could just do like a flip coin toss, bro. So I think modern with how the referees and how the reffing and how the league goes with defense nowadays. Like I just can't see a world where they're stopping Kevin Durant.
All right,
like you can contain him, but I don't know if you could stop him.
What about 2020? What about last season's Jokic versus 2000 Shaq?
Bro, I gotta put the Diesel.
That's crazy,
bro. The Diesel, Jokic is not stopping Diesel.
I don't know. Jokic is a big motherfucker, man. I'm not saying he's stopping Diesel.
Got the physical tools to stop Diesel, bro.
I'm not saying he's stopping Diesel, but I'm not saying he's gonna beat him. But I'm saying to absolutely say Diesel will destroy him. I don't know, because what if Jokic throughout the game just tires him out by just camping at the 3-point line, and then Jokic could still post. Jokic is still like almost 300 pounds. He could still post up.
Yeah, Jokic can do Jokic. Bro, one-on-one, I don't know, bro.
Jokic is not going to back down Shaq, but if he gets positioning, like, think about it, right? Jokic is at the top of the 3-point line. Shaq comes out, Jokic pump fakes. Now he's driving. Let's say he does that to Shaq all first half, and then his third quarter he does the same. Shaq is going to start tiring down, man.
Bro, but you're looking at that Shaq 2000s. That was peak athletic Shaq.
That was peak athletic, but he never had to come out. See, like that's what makes this. Yeah, that's what makes this interesting. He never had, but against Jokic, right? Imagine Shaq just dunks the ball, right? He just scores. He's getting back. Normally he goes underneath the hoop, but that's a mistake because Jokic would be trailing, and then he would just pop up and shoot the three.
The main question I have is this make it take it, or is this like every possession switch, or every shot switch?
I don't know. Either or, man.
Bro, make it take it, bro. If Shaq gets the ball first, I don't see a world where Jokic is stopping him, bro. But if it's like back and forth possessions, then you're having a tough battle.
Yeah,
I don't know if that
back and forth regular game. Like it would be.
Yeah,
it would be interesting. I feel like Jokic would have to do. Jokic could do the methodical approach. He could do like a boxer. He could keep punching you, gut punches throughout the match because Jokic could begin to tire out Shaq. 3-point shooting, have him come out in the line, and then attack. And then even if the first couple times it doesn't work as well, after second quarter starts and he's still, if Shaq doesn't camp out by a 3-point line, Jokic just popping that. And Shaq comes up, Jokic just pump fakes and tries to get it by him. And it starts to work. And then he starts doing it third quarter, fourth quarter. Next thing you know, and he's passing at the same time. Let's not forget that.
Yeah. Well, I assume it's one-on-one, right? It's not team versus team.
No, it's team. Well, no, I'm just saying they're primes. They're primes. It's not necessarily.
Damn. Okay. I had the wrong approach to this. Then I'm thinking one-on-one.
No, it's not one-on-one. It's their teams. It's their teams in the version of that player.
Okay, let me switch it up.
But we don't have to worry about their teammates. We're just talking about them going one-on-one in that team matchup. That's what I really mean.
Look, bro, at the end of the day, I think there's a famous Tim Duncan quote. I played him like when Richard Jefferson was quoting Tim Duncan when he said Jokic would kill you. It was the extent of he played me when I was past my prime. I played him before he was in his prime, and I did all right. Like this, bro, this series they're both gonna fucking kill each other, bro. Like to be honest with you,
that would make for great TV.
Crazy ass game.
Yeah, it would
just
be.
Like Jokic and Shaq going one-on-one. Like Jokic getting destroyed on the defensive end, but it's gonna be interesting to see like Shaq having to watch out for cutters and watching the 3-point line, and just Jokic being crazy, bro. Because he had a little bit of that with Vlade. Vlade did a good job giving him a hard time in his career. And Vlade was very similar to Jokic in playing style.
Mm-hmm. Now I have another interesting one right here. The 2005 Kobe Bryant with the 81 points versus a young KD 2012 version after winning the scoring title 4 times already.
Man,
that would be crazy. What?
That's a tough one, bro.
That is crazy. That is wild. That would be a must watch.
Bro, I would want to watch that, just them one-on-one, like not even a team setting, just to watch these guys tear each other up.
Bro, they'll both finish with like 50, man.
Yeah, bro. Like Kobe, that year, Kobe was unreal. Like, you look at his team and you're like, fuck, like credit to Kobe where it's due.
And also KD coming off of 4 scoring titles, 4 years, like, man, 4 scoring titles, man.
Man,
that's crazy.
This is what kind of we were talking about Draymond conversation earlier. Like, bro, what Kevin Durant was able to achieve before going to the Warriors. He had a Hall of Fame career.
Yeah.
I it's crazy to me. People forget that. The guy had a Hall of Fame career before he stepped in foot with the Warriors.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, he had a crazy game. And I'll even go to 13, bro. I think he's beating Carmelo Anthony, the Western Conference version, bro.
Now, we're talking about the 2009 Western Conference Carmelo versus a young 2012 KD.
Yeah, I think he's beating him, bro.
Now, that's the year KD went to the finals.
Yeah, I think he's beating Carmelo.
Wow. Carmelo was
like
nice.
Carmelo's crazy, bro. Don't get me wrong.
That was against Kobe in the Western Conference Finals. So that version of Melo versus
I just think
2012
Durant overall throughout his career was a better scorer than Melo. Mm-hmm. But like no knock on Melo, because that's an ultimate compliment to Melo, bro. Melo is that, bro. I used to watch that guy. He didn't even have to take a dribble, bro. Like phone book shots, and I'd be like, man, how the hell did he create that separation?
Oh shit.
Hey man, you watched it live with the Knicks, bro. There was times where you're like, man, how the hell did he come up with that separation without dribbling the basketball once?
Facts. That is crazy. That is nuts. Now, what about 2011, 2012 villain LeBron in Miami versus 1991 2 or 3 version of Michael Jordan?
Fuck, that's tough, bro.
Now, those years are both their prime years. Those are like championship prime years, where physicality and also the basketball smarts are kind of like crossing. They're at the same path. They're not gonna cross each other yet. The older they get, or the younger they are, the less smarts they have. The older they are, the less physicality they have, the more smarts that they have.
No, but can't you say the peak of Jordan was like the late 90s?
No, 95, it wasn't. 90s. It wasn't. It was 91. It was 91, 92, 93.
That was like his peak athleticism. I know that.
No, that was the peak Jordan.
Peak Jordan,
Like that was you can look at when you look at the highlights, you can even look at the numbers, just like the defensive numbers. You can see the difference. The defense was insane. It was like it looked like Giannis level now. Like it looked like that, and he was scoring. Him and Scottie Pippen. That was like their prime years.
I got Mike, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Like I know a lot of people are gonna get pissed, but I got Mike.
What? We're talking about 2011, 2012, villain LeBron after losing the finals.
Bro, villain LeBron was crazy, bro. Mike,
that version of LeBron was like it was fucking demonic.
Bro, but Mike's mid-range jumper, like I think I gotta keep account with Mike's jumper, bro. And that's one thing that I think he has a little edge on over LeBron.
Me, I don't know who would win, but damn, that would be crazy. Just watching him.
Like, bro, I'm having a hard time answering the question.
Yeah,
bro.
remember that version of LeBron was playing defense.
Yeah, I mean LeBron came
lockdown defense.
Bro, LeBron, even his mid-range jumper is Miami Heat. I think that was his best performance in the mid-range, if I'm not wrong. Because you remember he trained with Hakeem Olajuwon too during his Miami run.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're talking about those are some prime years for both of those players.
You know what, bro? I'm gonna stay in the middle, bro. I don't have an answer for that one.
Yeah, because even on defense, they're both gonna go at it.
Because, bro, I'm not gonna lie. I'm fucked. Like, straight up, I'm fucked in that regard, bro. Like, you're not winning. You're not winning anyone with that one.
Yo, the next one is interesting. 2006 Dwayne Wade versus 2025 SGA. Wow.
2025, bro. 2025. Bro, I'm telling you, Shai Gilgeous had one of the greatest individual seasons I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. That is legendary. For sure.
Like, I thought the closest might have been 2015 Steph, but he didn't win that Finals MVP. But Shai,
wait,
you know what
peep
I mean?
this.
Like,
Shai is one of the few people who ever averaged 30 points in the finals and won. Like, or just even had a 30-point season and just won everything. Like, it's only like Kareem, Jordan, Brent Berry, SGA, and I think that was it. There was one more person. But it was only like 5 people.
Yeah, then, I think that list itself proves Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Yeah, it's crazy. Michael Jordan made that list like 3 times, but it was only like 5 people. Crazy. SGA's on that shit.
Bro, SGA is SGA, bro. He's dope. Bro, you have one of my favorite teams we didn't get to. Number 8, bro. You got one of my favorite teams of all time. 2014 Spurs.
This is gonna be a tactician battle. The 1996 Sonics versus the 2012 or the 2014 Spurs.
Bro, I'm gonna be honest. I'm biased. I fucking love that 2014 Spurs team.
They were good. They were
awesome.
You know what? I got another one for this. The 2014 Spurs team or the 2024 Boston Celtics. Ooh.
Fuck, that's hard, bro.
That is crazy. They both played the same.
Same, bro. Like ball moving everywhere. Role players, man. I remember watching that Spurs game, bro. I think it was Boris Diaw led in pass assist. Kawhi was a role player during that time. He wasn't a superstar that we know now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think the depth of the Spurs, bro, is just crazy, bro.
What about the depth of the Celtics, though?
Bro, they were crazy too, but I just feel like, man, it felt like everything. It felt like you could throw anything at the Celtics, but they would fucking beat you, bro. It's just like the way they were able to limit
the Celtics or the Spurs, you mean?
Oh, my bad. The Spurs. Like in 2014, I feel like no matter what you threw at them, bro, they had an answer for it.
Yo, I feel the same way about the Celtics. No matter what you threw at them,
I do too.
They had an answer for it too. And plus, at the same time, keep in mind with this, right? With the 2024 Celtics, what's his name? Jaylen Brown and Tatum are in their primes. Tim Duncan is on the downhill side of his prime, and Kawhi is on the uphill side getting into it.
Bro, that's the craziest part, right? But you look at the Spurs, it wasn't a superstar team. It was a team who everyone knew their positions, bro. And that's what, like, I guess you could say,
same thing for the Celtics.
Bro, that's what I'm getting at. Like, you look at the way, like, the Celtics were able to limit Luka. It's similar to the way that, LeBron was so limited in that 2014 finals. Like, bro, I think we forget the Spurs made everyone realize that D-Wade was washed.
Yeah. You know what? That
Like
season he was kind of bloated. Like, I don't know. He had health issues. Like something was.
Yeah, Wade had health issues.
Yeah,
That's
something
when
was
Wade's
fucked
health
up.
issues really like shortened his. Because you look at Wade, he had a relatively shorter career, but that's also because he came a lot like later as compared to his peers. But he had the leg injuries too. But Wade, you saw like, oh shit, like you can't really hide Wade. Like Wade is not that superstar that we once knew. He was really able, and Bosch was a non-factor in that series.
Yeah, he was. Man,
Like, bro,
that's how good that San Antonio Spurs team was.
Oh, 100%, bro. Like, you look at it, bro. 1 through 8 positions. Like, they were fucking relevant, bro. Every player there. Like, Tony Parker had one of his best seasons. Ginobili had a bounce back after an awful 2013 series. Like, the Spurs, they figured out the Miami Heat, bro. Like the Celtics are another tough one, bro. But I don't know, man. Like.
Now, I have another one for you. This one is interesting. The 2022 NBA champion, Stephen Curry, when he got brolic, when he got his muscles up, versus 1998 Reggie Miller.
Man, 1998 Reggie Miller is underrated, bro.
Yeah.
Is that the year he killed the Knicks?
That's the year he went up against Jordan.
Yeah, Miller was a crazy motherfucker, bro. Which year was it when he killed the Knicks and Spike Lee at that moment?
You said Melo or Miller?
Which year did Miller had the crazy year where him and Spike Lee at that moment? Where he did the choke pose and talking shit to Spike Lee.
Oh, that was years before, in 1994.
Okay, I got my timeline mixed up, bro. But man,
yeah, it seemed like it was that year, right? But really, he was in his he was on his shit that 1998 year, because that's the year. Yeah, he was giving Jordan issues in that Eastern Conference Finals.
But I'm not gonna lie, bro. If I was a Knicks fan, I hate Reggie Miller. It seemed like, bro, anytime he stepped into the Garden, bro, that motherfucker for whatever reason just became
just turned it on, became Superman.
Yeah, bro. But bro, Steph Curry was special. That 2022 year Steph Curry was something else.
Yep. That was his I like to call it his magnum opus. That was
his stamp.
His fully his perfect symphony, man. That cemented Steph, bro. Like that championship. Yo, that 2022 championship for Steph was like Kobe beating the Boston Celtics for that championship. It was like the same kind of championship.
I think it was similar because you also forget Kobe winning the Finals MVP. Now he proved that I'm not Shaq's understudy. Him beating the Celtics obviously holds some weight, and him passing Shaq in championships holds some weight.
Mm-hmm. But that's why that Celtics one was important. Like not only he did that, but that was a real win. That wasn't
100%.
against like that Dwight Howard series. It was Dwight Howard was doing his thing, but he was he wasn't as experienced. So Kobe washed him up. Like LeBron messed that up. LeBron should have been in the finals. LeBron struggled against
LeBron
Dwight.
blew it against Wade.
Yeah.
Dwight, my bad. Now Dwight.
Oh yeah. But yeah, Kobe winning that championship, man. It was just it means the same. You could tell like not every championship has that same. Not every championship has the same meaning.
It's Kobe's most important championship by far.
And Steph's was the 2022 one.
100%, because
that
now
answered a lot of fucking questions.
I think with 2015 he got robbed. Obviously, you look at Durant. Obviously, people are gonna have their conversation and opinions. But 2022, you just can't take it away from him.
Nope. And then let me see what we got here.
But that's why I honestly think Draymond talks so highly about it too, because he knows why it holds so more weight.
Mm-hmm. Now, what do you think about? What's your opinion on the 2004 Pistons versus the 2025 OKC Thunder?
Another tough ass team, bro. The Pistons. I think they don't have star power, but they're a team that can switch on to anything. And Ben Wallace was a motherfucker, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And then Rashid
but
Rashid
OKC, but in OKC's defense, they could stick Hartenstein, they could stick Chet on him. He would probably dominate Chet. He would probably dominate Chet, but at least they'll have two bodies. Like Hartenstein was a problem, but you know it would have been a good series because, like you said, they didn't really have any stars, but they had a lot of players that were good. But OKC got two studs, man. That was two-way, both on the offensive and defensive. They were making defensive plays too. So
one thing you can see for sure, it's gonna be a really low-scoring game.
Really?
The Pistons, bro. They knew how to bleed out a team.
Could be, yeah.
Especially like they knew how to switch, like the versatility, the like Tayshaun Prince, Rip Hamilton, Ben Wallace in the middle.
Can you imagine Tayshaun Prince going up against Caruso?
Bro, that'd be crazy.
That would be, that is a game of hustle. Lou Dort, Tayshaun Prince.
Yeah,
what?
Bro. Like
Caruso?
Bro, it's gonna be the UFC on the court.
That is crazy. Wow, that would you're right. That would be like UFC.
Yeah, it's like if Shea rises, then we're having a different conversation because Shea is the ultimate superstar on that court.
Wow, Shea's
the only superstar.
Wait, peep this, right? Shea's mid-range versus Rip Hamilton's mid-range. Wow.
That'll be entertaining.
That's crazy.
That'll be a fuck you to analytics basketball.
Oh yeah, that would be a complete fuck you to analytics finals. Can you imagine that was a finals? Like, wow.
Just two guys shooting mid-range over each other.
They got to come up with an AI simulation to kind of like just like kind of copy the archetypes and then make them go up against each other. That would be entertaining.
100%, bro. But until then, all we can do is play 2K about it. You know what I mean?
Now, I peeped this, right? 1987-88 Magic Johnson versus 2011-2012 Villain LeBron.
Villain LeBron.
What?
Bro, I love Magic, bro.
You know he won the finals that year as the underdog. Like that year, if you look it up, that's probably his best season in the NBA.
Magic's
the year he won, I believe it was 87.
Who did he beat? The Celtics, right?
I think so. Let me see.
Yeah, I know he beat the Rockets and he beat the Celtics. Was it the Rock? He beat Philadelphia. The Rockies used to be in the Eastern Conference, if I'm not wrong, back then.
Yeah,
man.
87 and 88. He won championships both those years.
Or was it against the Rockets?
Yeah, 87. No, it wasn't against. Like he probably faced him in the Western Conference Finals, but he won.
I think the Rockets were in the Eastern Conference back then. Let me fact check, bro.
Well,
I might got it wrong.
Yeah, he beat the Boston Celtics in 1987, and then 88, he beat Isaiah Thomas.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I got you, bro.
So wait, hold on. It's the 87 year. That was his best year. Magic's best year was 87. Yeah, it was 87. That was his. Yeah, he was the MVP too of the NBA.
Okay, I got my history wrong. The Rockets were in the Eastern Conference to 73 to 80.
Oh, I didn't even know there was in the Eastern. Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
It was back then Ralph Sampson and them. They were tough. Man, who they lose to Ralph Sampson and them? I think they lost. I know Hakeem went to the finals more than 2 times. But
damn,
man,
you know what? Magic was killing. Magic won the MVP 87, 89, and 1990. So he was still, he was in his prime. Yeah, that's why I said 1987 version of Magic Johnson versus the 2011, 2012 villain LeBron. That is nasty right there. That would be a crazy matchup.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that is because I remember Magic that 87 year, I think it was the Western Conference Finals. He was never supposed to win, but there was a year, I think it was the 87 championship. I'm pretty sure it's that year.
Cream. Yeah.
Yeah, it was Magic that really elevated the team.
Yeah. Well, you look at, I think Magic didn't win Finals MVP for 2 of those finals. One Kareem took home and one James Worthy took home. But Magic in his prime, man, that was a crazy guy, bro. But man, bro, like LeBron, bro, like I said, a lot of it is just like from what I watched, right? So that's why I'm coming off with LeBron. But Magic had his moments where he was just tough. But I feel like LeBron, you could say, was a better scorer in that time than Magic was in his peak of winning championships. I think LeBron was a more creative shooter than Magic Johnson.
LeBron was a more creative shooter. I don't know.
Magic was the guy who controlled pace. Like, obviously for his size, he can get rebound, and you're just running. That's how Magic got.
Yeah, but he was a problem offensively too.
Offensively in the post, right?
Yeah, around that time, yeah. He was scoring. He was scoring like crazy. It's just he was like an offensive machine.
Yeah, he was an offensive machine, but his strength was mostly passing. I think with LeBron, you could say has a lot of scoring with his strength.
Let me see, because I remember. I think you're talking about the beginning of his career. Like that year in '87, like he was killing it.
Yeah, maybe I got my timeline messed up. I'm just talking like historically. That's how Magic's always viewed, right? Like kind of a guy like he controlled pace, but he was never like LeBron. I think was a more like multifaceted. What's the proper term?
Yeah, he was more multifaceted.
Yeah, than Magic. But Magic, bro, for his size, obviously, he's gonna bro. We're talking about Victor Wembanyama of this time for the point guard position.
Mm-hmm. Now, what do you think about the 2000s Lakers that went 15-1 in the playoffs versus the 2015 73-win Warriors?
Bro, can we flip this one? What if we flip it to the 2017 Warriors, where they also went 15-1?
Ooh, that's a good flip.
Yeah, you got two superstars, Klay Thompson, Rick Fox, Shaq and Kobe, Phil Jackson, Steve Kerr.
Wow.
Former coach, former player relations. As is a lot of narratives driving.
Man, I wish the NBA stayed consistent with the rules, man, because it's so many questions when you ask. You used to be able to ask questions like these, but now there's just so many changes with the league. It's like according to what rules. But then again, the Warriors had no one to stop Shaq.
Yeah, Zaza Pachulia would get eaten alive.
Oh, he would have turned into Zaza. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, Zaza Pachulia and JaVale McGee would have got eaten alive. But also, you look at it, the Kevin, if they ran small ball, they'd have to throw a lot of help at Shaq. Draymond would get eaten alive too. But also, you look at it, Durant really opened up the floor, right? So it's will Shaq be played off the court defensively?
Ooh, I don't know.
It's bro, it's a generational clash with those two.
It definitely would be two different styles. And also that 2000s Laker team, they weren't really that they were more like a brute team. They were really good, but they weren't a smart team. I think I believe Phil Jackson wrote that in his book. They weren't necessarily a smart team. Phil always thought that the Utah Jazz in the playoff series could beat them. Because they just
with Malone and they're a smarter team.
Yeah, because they're just overall smarter team. Look at the Sacramento Kings series. That was a dumb series, and the Lakers still end up winning it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's talent.
Fucking Vlade Divac tapping the ball at the 3-point line when you're only fucking up 2. That's kind of crazy. That's kind of crazy. Just catch the fucking rebound. It is what it is. The Kings kind of had opportunities to close that shit out.
Yeah, man. It's just the Lakers had that brute, but the Warriors, man. You can't even say they had the brute, but man, they were just a fucking smart team.
Yep.
Is this, bro? I think the Warriors will be one of those teams in the future, bro. When younger people get into the NBA, they'll never understand the Warriors, bro. Is this what it is? How number one, it's already crazy to think two of the greatest players of all time are on a team together. But it's just how smart the whole the construction, the off-ball screen, kind of the soft, the small ball lineups. It's like it's gonna be hard to explain, bro. Especially now with people watching Jokic and Victor Wembanyama. It's gonna be hard to like explain the small ball lore.
Yeah, it's gonna be extremely, extremely hard.
Yeah, because they're gonna look at us like, what the fuck? Get a 7-footer off the bench for what is Draymond's height? Like 6'7", 6'8" guy as your start, like as your closing center. But it's like, oh yeah, it made sense. Like, bro, even now I'm thinking about it, man. Like the amount of small ball lineups we were watching, bro, and we thought that shit was normal, and we were like, kind of like, oh, the center position's dead. Where now it's like, man, it's like
it's transforming. It's transforming again,
bro. It's transforming now. It's like, bro, we're looking at Jokic. We're like, man,
we're looking at the Houston Rockets.
Yeah, Houston Rockets. Embiid, like, bro, the fact that we were in a drought for MVP in the center position, and now like 2020 came, 2 centers won MVP.
And who knows who's gonna be in the future? Wemby, it could be Chet. You don't know.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie. That Alexander Sarr kid is killing it too, bro. That I think he's gonna be someone interesting in the future.
Now he's a power forward. He's a center.
I think they're playing him as center.
The French kids that came in number 1 back-to-back years, I knew they were gonna be solid. It was just gonna take a little time.
Yeah, I thought Zachary. I thought people over. Well, I think Zachary Ricochet is gonna be a decent player. Like, I don't know about a star. Maybe a lower tier all-star or a good rotational like starting player.
I think the NBA and just the overall, it's a culture shock because it's a culture shock even for basketball because the NBA is a different kind of basketball. There's a flair element to it that the Europeans, they play more robotic. And that's why the NBA is going over there because, you know, it's either the Europeans now, like some of the best club teams, they don't make enough money because their league is not like an entertainment product. Like that's why the NBA, you know, that's why they're collaborating with the NBA basically.
The NBA is going to show them a little bit of flash and
a little bit more flair.
Yeah.
And but that's what Zachary's kind of struggling with because he came from that robotic system. Now that they're telling him go ISO, and he's like, whoa, like I was supposed to get the ball on the run.
Flashiest player in the league too, bro. You look at Trae Young; he's one of the more flashier players. You're gonna have to adjust to that. But I think he's gonna have a really good career, man. I see Hawks fans overreact, but I think he's gonna be really good. But I think, bro, overall, like I think we were talking earlier. I was trying to bring it up too. Is I think we were talking about Victor Oladipo and kind of that whole transition, bro. You're seeing now the NBA is going more European, but is also going a lot more younger. We're not really seeing older players have a role in the NBA like that anymore.
Hell, we're even seeing players in the mid-20s get kicked off of teams. Like it's like a reboot.
Bro, I was reading earlier about Kem Whitmore, where there was a conversation where it's like, man, Kem Whitmore shouldn't be in rotations. All I'm thinking to myself is, man, a 22-year-old getting kicked out the NBA this young is fucking mind-blowing, bro. Like, what the fuck? Like, you know what I mean? Like, where the fuck's the NBA headed to, bro? Are we really gonna go younger and younger?
Hey, I seriously think the owners finessed the new CBA. They kind of finessed it. Now they don't have to spend a lot of money because they're quote unquote scared of the apron. And then now we're seeing players that are valuable not necessarily get what they really should in the open market, like Brandon Ingram, Julius Randle. And you know, teams now, instead of having guys that are fully on the team, they're keeping a bunch of two-way guys to not go over certain salary cap, you know, penalties or whatever it is with the aprons. Like, this shit is kind of crazy. Like, and then, like you said, the league is getting super younger and younger and younger.
That's why I brought up DeAndre Jordan as an example, because you look at him. The only reason Jordan has a contract, if we're keeping it real, is because he's not expecting to get real minutes.
Yeah.
I think he's just trying to make a coaching transition or a front office transition. So he's like, fuck it, you know, I might as well like be a part of the bench and kind of be a player or coach so he can make a jump to being an assistant coach or, you know, front office personnel.
There's a lot of changes, man. This shit is kind of crazy, but we'll see how it plays out, man. Like, because I'm telling you, the money seems like the NBA has a lot of money for the players as far as like the salary, but when you really look at it, there's a lot of scarcity, man. It's like will this team spend this money? Like that seems to be always the first thing being brought up. Like even Ja Morant. Look at Ja Morant now. They set it up where even if they wanted to trade him, there's not that many teams that can just like fit his salary.
No teams are gonna take that gamble anymore, bro.
No, only shitty teams can. Only wait. Only
I mean,
shitty.
dude,
Wait, my
like
bad.
Charlotte Hornets can.
Yeah,
but we're talking about like.
My bad. Only shitty teams can because they're gonna absorb his salary because they got a bunch of rookies on the team, and they're not going anywhere.
But like a competent like Miami Heat's not absorbing his salary, bro, and they shown that in many off seasons.
Nope, they didn't trade for
Like,
Durant. They didn't trade for Bradley Beal. They didn't trade for what's his name, Damian Lillard. There's a lot of teams that they're just like nah. They're just like no thanks.
Like with them, it's like fuck it. We got Jaime Hawkins Jr. We're gonna see like how far his development goes. We're good on taking an expensive contract.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and it's worked out so far. I'll give him that. But that's just where the NBA is going. Like even the Knicks, bro. You look at the starting lineups a lot older. You look at their depth, bro. It's young cats off the bench. Like beside Landry Shamet, it's all young cats and Clarkson.
Yeah, they had Malcolm Brogdon looking like an old man out there, bro. They just had to.
They said, "All right, bro, you're going home."
Yeah, and I think he was like 33. He was looking extremely old.
Bro, man, that's the injuries, bro. Those injuries caught up to him. With Brogdon, it was kind of like I think like that's why he went so late in the drafts too, because there was always a concern over his health.
But yeah, man, this has been good, man. You guys definitely hit up the link in the description below. Check out Samir's new Substack. You did Reed Shepard's sophomore jump and then Russell Westbrook, man. A perfect match with the Kings. So definitely check out Samir's Substack in the description below. All right, man. Appreciate you, man. Samir, until next time, be easy, man.
You too, bro. Take care, brother.
All right, stay safe, man. Peace.